Tonight's program comes fully stacked and fully loaded. You've been warned.
Nothing feels better than to know you, and nothing's more important than to show you that nothing comes close to what the vibe is. Nothing's more exciting than the time spent with you. No one but you can love me true. How you love me when you love me and you tell me everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, and you mean the world to me. You are my everything, and I never ever wanna know what it's like without you. I feel you every day. I think I feel like this forever. As long as we're together, wanna know you each and every way. I promise to be honest when I speak to you. Wanna put you at the top of my list. Wanna walk it like I'm talking. Wanna give you everything. Please tell me that you're rocking with this. You know all the ways to speak to me. I like it when it's just us talking, and you don't hold it against me. That you don't really need me for nothing, but I need you for everything. And when I'm honest with you, telling you my issues, you keep it official every time I kick you with you. It's no games, oh, don't change, cause you mean the world to me. You are my everything.
All right, for those of you who may have been unaware, that is a video that started making the rounds. That was Danae Jackson, Derrick Jackson's wife. I'm pretty sure she actually still is his wife. And she took to Instagram earlier today to make that video. And as you can tell, I'd like to tell you that things are going great, but that would just be flat out false.
And you don't hold it against me. That you telling you my, and you don't hold it against me. That you don't really need me for nothing, but I need you for everything. And when I'm honest with you, telling you my issues, you keep it official every time I kick you with you. It's no games, no.
And let me be clear about this. What I am not doing is I'm not mocking anybody. I think that it's a terrible thing. If you've ever, had a heartbreak, especially something so public, certainly that would be a very wrenching thing to have happen. So before I say anything else, I'm not mocking anybody. I think that's wrong. Nobody deserves to have their heart drug. They don't deserve it. Maybe they earned it, but they don't deserve it. Certainly not in front of the whole world. So this is what she was doing today. Some of this other stuff here, like this right here, this Jesus is my man, that might be the reason why. I would just say if a fella's living with a chick and she's got the Jesus is my man behavior going on, you may not be doing your marriage a bunch of favors. You might not be doing it a bunch of favors. And quite frankly, this goes beyond just awkward. This goes to completely uncomfortable. This is a level right here that it should never be taken to. But then you see other things. She goes straight from being booed up with the Holy Spirit. Next thing you know, she's telling the Holy Spirit, I hate his stinking guts. Because that would be the Christian thing to do, don't you know? That's the Christian thing to do. Next problem here, to do. Father, Son, Holy Spirit is number 1. Kids are number 2. Ministry number 3. Business number 4. Friends and family are 5th. Entertainment is 6th. So check that out. The friends and the family fall way down the list. Oh, she puts her ministry and her business ahead of her friends and her family. Kind of sounds like she doesn't have any friends, doesn't really have a family to fool with them. Jason, why are you saying this? I'll explain why here in just a moment. But I am in Christ, okay? Here she is with that prayer shawl again. She's made a whole religious video out of it, but eventually reality comes crashing into the picture because you can only live in denial for so long. Usually it doesn't last very long, and what you really want, if you're not getting it, it cracks your psyche, it destroys you. There's no substitute. Now, I want to go a little bit further here because there are some of you who may be very easily manipulated by what you're seeing here. There are some of you who, even though this is linked to real world events, you would be very manipulated by what you're seeing here. I want to take a moment here to stop you so you can have some sober reflection so that you're not manipulated. Let me be very clear. When you set up a camera and a cell phone to record yourself, to make a home music video, and then at the end of it you bawling and crying, or at least it looks like you are because you very easily could have used some eye drops, but let's just take it at face value. My real thing is this is not a genuine glimpse into her life. This is literally a staged and choreographed routine specifically for the purposes of being uploaded to the internet. So what I'm saying is, on the one hand, you have this outrageously, and I will call it for what it is, Derrick Jackson is demonically manipulative. But then I take a look at his woman, and I'm like, not only do the apples not fall too far from the tree, in your case, the apples are still sitting on the same branch, so far as I can tell. So when you loaded all this up and then at the end, you stood up here and literally go on a squeal about him, that says a whole lot. It certainly says you have a broken heart. I can understand that. It says you have a hard time. I understand that. But how much I believe this is relative, because I know what you're trying to do. This video was not made for him. It was made for everybody else to paint yourself as the good guy and to paint him as evil. Well, we already know that's what Derrick is. But here's the problem that I have, Danae. Ma'am, and I will say this as diplomatically as I can and as sympathetically as I can. Let's be very clear. You have always known what he was. Derrick Jackson didn't just wake up at 25, 26, 27 years old and become this degenerate liar. Maybe he didn't have access to the females, but he's always been this degenerate liar. You saw that in him back in grade school. You saw that in him in college. He was always this disgusting, deceitful individual. And you were okay with it. So long as you were getting what you wanted, you were all right with it. You were fine with him the way he was, so long as you were getting caked off the way you wanted. And when he took off making a career of lying to women's faces, you were perfectly fine. You had the car, the clothes, the house. You got to sit at home with the kids. You had the lifestyle, and purportedly you had the man. And you were okay with that. Back when you were still getting the benefits. It's only when he started cutting down on your cut of the take that all of a sudden you didn't like it anymore. So now we got a whole different situation going on. Got a whole different situation going on here tonight. So prepare yourselves, brothers and sisters from around the world, because you're going deep down the rabbit hole here tonight. Now, on her Instagram page, well, there's Danae. There's her Instagram page. And for those of you watching here, if you go through her stories, now she's actually kind of curated her stories today, but by the way, there's the video here posted. You go into her stories and you're going to see a number of certain things here. Danae, not a good idea for you to start taking things down, ma'am. You shouldn't do that. Cheerleading videos here. I guess test your warfare skills in theater. There's her video again. Who's your identity? Miss Raven Thomas Hartwell will come back to her. But yet another one of these singing chicks Singing chicks with outrageous weave in her head. We'll come back to you in a moment. Real Talk Kim. I wonder if that's a real profile. A white woman named Real Talk. This sounds like some white person trying to appeal to the Afrocentric demographic. We'll come back there in a moment. All right. What I want to do here first is there are some things missing, and this has happened since I announced my program tonight. There are some things missing from Danae's stories. There are some things that are missing from it now, and I just figured we'd take this opportunity to go ahead and review that, because this in particular here, well, this was here, and it's not on her stories anymore, but from ANA Ministry. So this is what was posted from ANA Ministry. As you can see here, ANA Ministry posted, encouragement to my single mothers. Danae, you're not a single mom just yet, but very clearly you sound worried. Encouragement to my single mothers. If you are a born-again woman and have Jesus at the center of your heart, do not believe the lie from these pigs of hell. Single mothers are for recreational use only is something Satan will say to break your self-esteem and self-worth. You are not recreational use. You are a human being made in the image of God. Now, why would this ANA Ministries here be so upset about that? Why would she be so mad and so upset about that? Why does that bother her so much? Is there a reason for it? Well, yeah, there is a reason for it, all right. Miss ANA Ministries is one of the people, apparently, that our good friend Danae is following. That's great. That's fine. That's wonderful. But ANA Ministries is something that I went to go take a look at myself because I really wanted to see what they were about. So I took a look into it, and I want you all to see what I saw. Now, from what I just played for you, what I just read to you there, that comes from here, and of all people, I hate I even have to do this, but it comes from a clip that they had on their on their Instagram page from Fresh and Misfit. And this is what they had here.
Marrying a woman with multiple kids.
Single mothers are recreational use only. You don't marry those women. That's a bad move for you as a man.
Why? Because of the baggage? Because of the kids? Because of the just...
There's far too much risk. Well, we already know that marriage is terrible for men.
Single guy married.
All right, so that is what set her off. She didn't really like that. She really didn't like that. And there's a bunch of single moms down here who didn't... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy. Oh, didn't see that coming. I see a name here I recognize. Didn't quite see that coming. Oh, Miss ANA Ministries has responded to her also, but it sounds like Danae is very anxious right now about single motherhood. Sounds like she's very anxious. I'm not mocking anybody. What I'm saying is there's a rabbit hole here. Danae said these men are not Rolls-Royce buyers, and they don't know the value because they are too busy watching Ford Motor Company commercials. Now, that's an analogy for thought. That's an analogy that makes no sense. What the hell? But fine, you don't have to be. But she seems to be a very big fan of Miss Anna Ministries. Now, Miss Anna Ministries here is apparently pregnant right now. She's very pregnant. By her post, she's getting ready to drop the load any day now. So hopefully it's a healthy child and everything goes well without a hitch. That's apparently her husband who she married, well, not too long ago, according to her, not too long ago. At 34, I was single and thought the idea of having a baby was over. Okay. Within 1 year, I got engaged. Interesting. Then married. And now we are having our baby boy soon. Well, I say all this to say, don't ever lose hope. You know what? It's very, very easy to milk people who want to just believe things. So she's been getting videos made of her and her husband. Apparently, she's very proud about this, about being pregnant. She's very, very proud about it. And she wants the world to know she's very, very proud of being pregnant. very proud to be pregnant. That's all good to hear. She's very proud to be pregnant. Very proud to be pregnant. But what she hasn't included is, and I won't do too much here, but she's got her son, who is pretty much grown at this point. So she's already a single mom. So when Miss Anna Ministries posts about single moms not for recreational use, she's speaking from her own life, is what she's speaking from. She's speaking from that. Well, Jason, why would you say that? If you keep going, and if you keep going, and if you keep going, Jason, you did all this. Oh, yes, because you see, I wanted to see where Danae was coming from with some of the things she was saying and some of the things she was posting this morning. So I wanted to get some backup on this. Here's Miss Anna Ministries checking on her son. Hey, honey, you want to go hang out? This video is her basically talking to her son. Mom, I already got plans with my friends. So this video is how she's reacting to her son. This is her reacting to her son, not her husband, to her son. Now, we all understand about empty nest syndrome, got that, but this seems a little uncomfortable, but okay, fine. Danae is taking her cues from that lady. All right. Single in your 30s, things you got to deal with. Well, let's hear what Miss Anna Ministries has to say, because Danae is thumbs up and a big up in this chick. And, okay. Single in your 30s. What she didn't say is a single mom in her 30s. You notice she didn't say that? She didn't say a single mom in your 30s. She said single in your 30s. By the way, this woman doesn't look that old. She actually doesn't look that old, so I'm kind of curious. When did she end up a single mom? Because she doesn't look that old. She said 34, the second baby. My dating journey meets my high school sweetheart. We have a baby and plan our future together. Oh, breakup. Meets another guy shortly after who loves my son. Tells me he will propose soon. Oh boy. Leaves me for his ex. Guess he rethought being a stepfather. Meet someone I knew from the past and think this is coming full circle. Remember what I said about their Rolodex? They gotta go backwards. He even had the same last name as my son, so I think it's meant to be. Ghost me after a 1.5-year relationship. You know what? There's only one common denominator in this equation, Miss Anna. Meet someone I thought was finally the one. A doctor who spoiled me and made me feel like I was the only one. Has 3 side chicks. Oh, you were recreational. So, yeah, she's got a bone to pick with recreational. And Danae was sharing her post earlier today. She had a lot to say then, sharing the post earlier today. All right, well, Jason, maybe you don't have the full story on that, or maybe you don't have the right background on it, or maybe it's something else there. Yeah, I mean, that's all one way you could say it. Don't get me wrong. That's one way you could say it. But when I start seeing certain things, I start looking for other things. Well, Jason, what are the other things that you would be looking for? Well, I start looking to see, especially when we're talking about religion, I start looking for white supremacy. Well, Jason, this chick here, and I don't think she's black. I think she's Latina, white Latina. Don't think she's black. But I start looking for things. So I see Billy Graham, who may have ended his life on a more neutral note, but he was very strong up until the Reagan administration about white supremacy. But okay, fine. I'll just go ahead and disregard that. Tucker Carlson. Well, there's no way that this could end badly. She listens to Tucker Carlson. While Danae is big up in her stories, this chick listens to Tucker Carlson. Okay, what could possibly go wrong there? Well, Jason, you're probably being too judgmental. You're not even looking at these things correctly. You know what? Maybe you're right. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at another video here? and see what we get.
Black Lives Matter became very popular. I also fell for the lie. I had even attended a protest and was truly invested in this organization. This was prior to me becoming born again and prior to operating under the spirit of discernment, but I want to publicly repent for ever being in support of such an organization.
Black Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filings. They collected
Whoa, Candace Owens?
Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it.
Oh. Huh. Well, I thought we were going to come here for something else, but next thing I know, the chick that Danae is sitting up here big upping as a person we need to listen to about single moms and whatnot, this apparent white Latina. Well, she's anti-Black Lives Matter and a fan of Candace Owens. And in case you were thinking that was just incidental, by the way, no, take a look at the hashtags here. Hashtag George Floyd protest, hashtag Candace Owens, hashtag BLM documentary. Hashtag BLM, hashtag scam alert. So, I told y'all it's going to be a fully stacked program tonight. Miss Danae got some explaining to do about some of these folks that she loves to big up. But by the way, when I see too much religiosity with black folk chasing behind white folk, I start looking for white supremacy. Now, Miss Anna here would have you all believe that, well, being a single mom, just take her word for it. Anybody who doesn't agree with, anybody who thinks single moms for recreational use, they're pigs. Well, maybe she's saying that because you're taking a look at her husband, and I can't say one way or the other. I don't know this gentleman. I don't know him to be able to say what kind of person he is, but I can say what kind of woman he's married to. So yeah, finding a black coon ain't very hard. And I'm using that word accurately because Miss Anna here has a tendency of gathering blacks who hate themselves on her Instagram. So if you all didn't know any of this before you came here tonight, give me the thumbs up emoji in the chat room and hit the likes for me. It's over 2,400 people in here and only 790 likes. Hit the likes button for me. Give me the thumbs up and hit the likes button if you didn't know this before now, because understand, we got digging to do. We got digging to do. So this is Anna Ministries' dude, and it kind of makes you wonder, what kind of dude does he have to be? If he's a black man who doesn't tolerate that shucking and jiving and the little slights against you and those little Fox News talking points, if he doesn't tolerate that, how does it end up going? Or is he one of these fellas? Take a look at the way he's dressed. By the way, take a look at the way he's dressed. Okay. Take a look at the way he's dressed. I'm not one to drag nobody, but I'm looking at the way dude is dressed. I'm looking at the way he's dressed. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. But she was real triggered about that, so all right, fine. Let that be what it's going to be. All right, so as you saw here before, Danae was showing other videos, and another video that she showed was from Miss Raven Thomas Hartwell. Now, this was all today since Danae put up her video screaming at Derrick, so she's leaning on the spirit, but this Raven Thomas Hartwell young lady here looks like she's religious. Glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. I'm sure she's an otherwise upstanding individual. And let's just take it for what it is. But I go to her page. She's real religious, and boy, she's really got some, certainly non-freedmen, like some immigrant vibes to her. So this really has a real big immigrant vibe to her. Not simply because of the way she looks, not simply because of the tacky weave, but because every time I look around, I start looking for, remember what I said before, I start looking to see if you're one of these Negroes who goes around kind of kowtowing to white organizations. You're the only black face in the room. And what do you know? You go to Miss Raven Thomas Hartwell's Instagram page, and over and over and over again. She's the only black face in the room. Unless she brings another one with her. She's just real good for that. Real good for that. Oh boy, did you all see this coming? She's literally bowed down in front of white mommy as of less than 2 months ago. This is who Danae was sharing on her Instagram. This is who she was sharing this morning. But by the way, this is Raven Thomas Hartwell also. This is her too. So when I said, by the way, when you take a look at these things, I start seeing it over and over and over. And you can keep going down the list. It just keeps doing that. It just keeps doing it. She's got either her and her friends, or if you go down the list, it just keeps going. It just keeps happening. They're very proud to be the only black person among a sea of white people. It just keeps happening. This is their thing. This is their thing. But you know what, Jason, maybe that's not enough. I mean, maybe you're being prejudicial about it. You know what? Perfectly fine. This is Miss Raven Thomas Hartwell, and so is this. As a matter of fact, she has a YouTube channel. Very glad to hear that. I wonder if I can learn anything from her YouTube channel. Can I learn anything about how she feels about men and relationships in her YouTube channel? Can we talk about men and relationships? Well, sure, we can go ahead and talk about men and relationships. She likes to sing. She likes to sing a lot. She's got children. That's very nice to hear. I wonder if there's anything. Whoa. Oh, this took an ominous turn. This took a very ominous turn. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is taking more ominous turns. Well, let me go ahead and give her a chance to speak her piece.
Hey guys, so I am here with my husband, and we are creating this video specifically because I made a TikTok and I created a video disclosing information about our relationship, about when I cheated on my husband at the beginning of our marriage. We are now on year 7, but that video got over 100,000 views, thousands of likes, and tons of nasty, mean comments. Yeah.
You know, I guess this is all rather ironic because just last night, in the last couple of days, people have been talking about the new Chris Rock special. They've been talking about the new Chris Rock special where he talked about Will Smith, and he said, you know, it's a hell of a thing when you getting punked out by the person who cheated on you. I cheated on you with all these people here. How did it make you feel? And shows a microphone in your face. And this little fella is just sitting over there. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him because this video here was in 2020 and then back one more again so they can do this. But here's what I want you to see here. I want you to see something else, and it doesn't even require audio. It doesn't even require audio for this because I want you to take a look at her. I want you to take a look at her. She is tatted up. Now, what I'm going to do is go forward a little bit here. See, that microphone's not in the way. She got chest tats. She has arm tats. Weave all the way down to her backside. But by the way, no, she doesn't have just one tattoo. She's got several. She's got chest tattoos, plural. So when I was showing the other video over here, and I want to get the kid off here, when showing the other video and stuff, she's real good for that. She's real good for that. And wanted to take an opportunity to show you that there so you can see what I was talking about. So Ms. Raven Hartwell got some explaining to do. She got some explaining to do. Old boy's trying to hang in there, but all right. And he's sitting up here, boy. I got you, boo. I got you. All right. He's doing that. Well, you know what? I'm sure Miss Hartwell is very proud of the way she is today. I'm sure she wouldn't undo a thing if she had the opportunity. I'm sure say, take me as I am. And if you don't like it, that's your fault. That's your problem. But by the way, I want to remind you all of something. Artwork. Art. Do you know what art is? Art is mankind presenting an idealized version of himself. Thank you, Mike Mincer. Art is an idealized version of man. And on her Instagram, I noticed something when she had an app that did artwork of herself. I couldn't help but notice when she used the app on herself, what happened to the tattoos? 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 No, Jason, you doing too much. You're reading too much into things. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. But when she has an opportunity to present to the world an idealized version of herself, she removes the tattoos. Now, when she came to the man who would be her husband, well, she presented him with something different. But when she presents herself to the world, now, whole different thing going on. So I found that to be very interesting here that Miss Danae considers her to also be somebody worth following and taking advice from and following up on and listening to their edicts and their advice. Found that to be very interesting here as well. But probably the most interesting one I found was what I mentioned here before. This one right here, this Real Talk Kim. Now, I got more than a few questions about Miss Real Talk Kim. Because Miss Real Talk Kim strikes me as being one of these white folk who likes to use black jargon and vernacular. She strikes me as one of them. She strikes me as one of these white folk who's used to walking amongst a circle of black people and running things, particularly among a circle of religious black women. And because she shows up, she's running things. So I went down the timeline to check the pedigree, because you know I'm going to check the pedigree. So I couldn't help but notice some of the stuff she was doing and saying. I couldn't help but notice she sure is wearing shirts. I mean, just wearing shirts and more shirts and shirts and more shirts. Blessed, what does that say? Blessed bougie. When's the last time you saw a white woman running around talking about being bougie? Blessed bougie. Beautiful bougie. When's the last time you saw a white woman running around talking about being bougie? When's the last time you saw that? When's the last time? Oh, what do you know? There's no shortage of black females that she's going to sit here and be standing next to. No shortage. Oh, look again. Another. No shortage of black females that she's got around her. No shortage. No shortage. So it doesn't really surprise me. Oh, look. Oh, more fans. No shortage. Anybody recognize this building in Atlanta? We all recognize that building from Atlanta. So yeah, that sticks out to us. Oh, she got black women and black males. All right. Yeah, more hoodies here. More hoodies. More hoodies. More hoodies. More material here. That sounds great. That sounds wonderful. Beautiful bougie. God's girl. Sounds great. Sounds wonderful. Then again, I saw something else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the spectralizer here, because here's another picture of Miss Real Talk Kim. Here's another picture of her, and I couldn't help but notice something when I looked at it before, because what I did was I couldn't help but notice something on them foots. I couldn't help but notice something on them foots. Now, I've told you all about conscious hoes. I've told you about academic hoes. And you see, if she doesn't have some type of ethnicity to fall back on, and if she doesn't have some degree to fall back on to try to camouflage her wholeness, or a ethnic pedigree to camouflage her wholeness, well, then don't worry. A religion will camouflage that just bad. More tattoos. Now, the white fellas can tell you something about having a chick who got tats on her foots. The white dudes will tell you about that one, but I won't open up that rabbit hole here for you. I won't open up that rabbit hole here for you. All right, back to Miss Kim, Real Talk. Miss Kim, Real Talk here. And by the way, you can go down this whole thing. Dr. King, okay, gonna warn you about playing with our icons. Now you done stepped wrong. You're playing with our icons now. Now I got to pull up on you. So she's sitting here, Miss Real Talk Kim, and she's always booed up and hugging on black folk like that. Always booed up and hugging on black folk. And then you go otherwise, oh, well, take a look here. Well, now this was unexpected. She has a hoodie called Hood and Holy. Hood and Holy. Oh, and take a look on her right arm. Now you see that circular insignia on that right arm there. Did you see that? Pay attention to that circular logo that was on her right forearm. Take a look at that circular logo. There will be a test. Oh, well, take a look again. Holy and Hood. So she is the most Karen chick you can find. Hood and Holy. Hood and Holy. So we back at it. We back at it again. And one more again. Hood, this is a different video. Hood and Holy. Hood and Holy. I wanted to put her arm down to see if there's that logo insignia on the right forearm. But you saw it on the first one there. So that's the reason why I'm bringing it up, is that logo insignia. That logo, if you pay attention to it, you pay attention to that particular logo, because we're going to see it again. Well, here's a lovely young sister here. Righteous Ratchet? Righteous Ratchet? Righteous Ratchet. Now, by the way, did you all notice this is not from the same page? This is not from Real Talk Kim. This is from RTK Style, which is, oh my goodness, Real Talk Kim merch. Oh, so these are her merch. This is her merchandise. This isn't somebody else's. This is her merchandise that she's selling. Oh, so black people are a profit center for her, and Danae thinks that this is the white woman that Danae is following up behind. Oh, okay. Just wanted to be sure there. Righteous Ratchet, but the white woman doesn't wear it herself. She gets a black female to be her flunky and go wear it herself. And of course, other Queen Coons sitting up here doing that. So they're going to be real quick to follow up behind that. Oh, hell. Didn't like the way this went real damn quick. Jason, what are you doing? You stacking up the invoices. You're damn right. I don't tell you what you paid. I tell you what you owe. By the way, take a look at all these sayings that she's made up on here. We're going to come back to all of this proliferation of all these little quotes she's made up here. We're going to come back to that here. Beautiful Bougie, back again. Beautiful Bougie, back again. Kiss my boundaries. That doesn't sound very Christian to me, but okay. This God's girl thing, all right, fine. She's milking that. Ooh, boy, you looking real? Oh, you're looking real. Walter Matthau is here, ma'am. I don't know. All right, once again, oh, well, what do you know? What do you know? Tell these black females out here, y'all looking for a white mommy to sit up here and take care of you. They're going to take care of you, all right. Speaking of Rolls Royces, notice the boot. Didn't say it's her car. I didn't say it's her car. I just said, notice that. She likes to show expensive things. Fake it till you make it. Then again, she may have already done so. So she likes to do that. Oh, look. The boy cut. Now take a look at this.
If there's that ain't pleasing to you, God says he will do exceedingly abundantly more than we could ever ask or think. That means if you barely get by, you in your own way.
That is the wackest, lamest ass black scent known to man. That's the lamest ass black scent known to man. You couldn't do no better than that? Apparently not. Apparently not. This is Danae's girl. This is Danae's girl. Keep on going. Jason, how many invoices did you get? Dude, don't you know I did my homework? Don't you know I did my homework? Oh, look, more black folk hugged up on her. Okay. The white savior. This is white saviorism. What makes her so important for that? This is white saviorism. Take a look at the Negroes with their hands up praising her. White saviorism. Oh yeah, all these examples of white saviorism that I can find connected directly to Danae, but it don't mean nothing, right? It doesn't mean anything. Why does she look like a aged out Harley Quinn? Oh, got this dude again here. God's girl, righteous ratchet, boy, she's steady plugging her merchandise. Oh, well, what do you know? Just in case you thought oh, look at that. Now, this was from last year in November, but hey, there's that insignia I told you about. Well, that's the RTK style insignia. So yeah, there's that logo I was telling you about before. Grab yours today at her website. Go grab yours today. And of course, the white woman can't possibly be racist because, what? She's wearing her merch. So, yeah, I'm not even going to show her website. I'm not even going to show her lame-ass website. I'm not even going to do that. But by the way, yeah, hey, kid, take your own advice here. Be different. Leave. Everybody else is sitting around. Be different. Leave. Leave. So I just thought that this was all very, very interesting that in her hour of need, the problem is Danae can't really call on anybody in her hour of need to get folks that she identifies with. All the people she identifies with are white supremacist or white supremacist, suspected white supremacist or suspected white supremacist adjacent everywhere she goes. And I'm just wondering how sincere any of this can be when that keeps happening and that keeps popping up. I just kind of wonder about that. Now, we'll come back to Danae here in just a moment. But what I want to do is finish up with this Miss Real Kim talk. Because, boy, I'm telling you, she just does the most. She really does. And by the way, if this looks like Cardi B, I'm kind of thinking that's the whole point. This is how she actually looks, but when you take a look at her images here at the front, all of a sudden she wants to look like Cardi B or something. I'm sure that's all accidental. This, looking like this, yeah, you know who her target audience is. You know who her target audience is. Why is she dressed like Beetlejuice? Why is she dressed like Beetlejuice? And Negroes just sitting there looking at her. Like this person is not insane. Sitting there looking at her. Judas reboot? I guess Judas Priest was already taken. All right, but what I want to deal with here, because we can go on for a while. We can actually go on for a minute with the shenanigans this woman's got going on. We can go on for a minute, y'all. Oh, she wants to rep Atlanta, by the way. She keeps doing that. We can go on for a minute, but I'm not going to do that. What I instead want to do is call your attention to something a little bit different here. Do you notice all of these little sayings that she has? Now, that's what Danae has originally on her page. All these little sayings. All these little sayings she keeps posting that don't mean anything. These are literally irrelevant little thought balloons that don't mean anything. And I was asking myself, now, why in the world would Danae be so attracted to this? Because it doesn't really make a bunch of sense. And I sat down and thought it over, and that's when it came to me. You see, when men have lost hope, they tend to do bad things to themselves. But when women lose hope, or get zeroed out, if you will, well, they start looking inward, and they start looking outward, and they start saying weird little, metaphysical pseudoscience things like, I'm looking for my peace or finding myself, or things like what this Real Talk Kim Real talk for the fakest damn talk you're going to find anywhere. You're going to be so blessed, so healthy, so strong, so favored that nobody will know what you've been through. That's the way God restores. He's going to bring you out better. I just heard in my spirit, you've been hidden for a season, but God is getting ready to unveil you in your world. It's your time. You better claim it for your week. This is Kenneth Copeland, Benny Hinn. This is this absolute hot air talk. This is this religious psychobabble. But you know what else it sounds like? Sometimes God will isolate you before he elevates you. You may think that everything is falling apart, but actually everything is falling into place. Now, here's what I'm going to do for you all. What I'm going to do for you all is I'm going to say some of these things she's saying, but I'm going to remove the parts about God. And you're going to notice something. Just because a decision hurts doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. You hurt in silence. You healed in private. Start packing for your new home. Start looking for your new car. Start planning your trip. Start saying you're healed. Listen, God ruined your plan, so your plan wouldn't ruin you. You can replace God with life. You can be grinding for 4 years with no results and on the 5th year become the biggest thing on the planet. What was meant to kill you birthed an entirely new you. That delay was your destiny. You didn't go through all that for nothing. People, this is fortune cookie talk. That's when it came to me that, hey, this white woman is selling fortune cookies. She's selling fortune cookies on the internet. This is fortune cookie babble. You all can crack open any fortune cookie anywhere and find statements exactly like this. So it came to me why it is that what she's saying can be so evergreen. Because fortune cookies are specifically designed to be evergreen. They apply no matter what day of the week, no matter what person on planet Earth, male or female, young or old, black or white, religious or atheist. It applies to anybody. As long as you got a pulse, it can apply to you. If you wish to believe it. Yeah, this is fortune cookie babble. So Danae woke up this morning, was feeling a whole bunch of hurt, and next thing you know, she said, let me go pick up a fortune cookie. And then let me go sell this to other people. Let me go sell it to the rest of y'all. I just wanted to connect the dots for you all here. I wanted to connect the dots for you because there are things I want you to understand. Why is it that Danae is breaking down the way she is right now? Why is it she's breaking down like this? Why is this such a bad thing? Why is she literally going nuts in here and can't even contain it? She's on the internet wigging out. Why is she doing that? Why? Why is that occurring? Well, I can give you one reason. I can give you one really good reason why such a thing would be occurring. Because Danae was hoping for something else to happen. Danae was hoping that the world would remember what her husband did. That's what Danae was hoping for. Danae was hoping that the world would remember her husband. She was hoping that she would get everyone to put their attention on him instead. So that she can say, take a look at how I've been aggrieved. Take a look that it's his fault. Take a look at these tears streaming down my face. So this video was hyper calibrated to punish him and punish him specifically. Because you see, she's got, as I've covered before, she's got a rather warped view of religion and how religion's supposed to work. For those of you who don't know, she subscribes to the religion of vengeance. She subscribes to that. No. She doesn't believe that it's necessary. She thinks forgiveness is really a concept that, that's for the losers, basically. That forgiveness is for the losers. And that she's got a personal hotline, if you will. Personal hotline to God. And she's here to curse you if necessary. Hell, even if it's not necessary.
Every tongue continuing to arise against the names Danae Jackson and Derrick Jackson with lies, with slander, with false accusation, and with mockery, I release the plagues of Egypt over your lives. And if you continue your pursuit as Pharaoh pursued Moses and the Israelites and drowned in the Red Sea, so shall you drown in the Red Sea of your problems in the name of Jesus. Have a blessed day.
Okay, I was looking for the video of her. I was looking for the video of her cursing Derrick. I had the video of her cursing Derrick. I had that one. And I guess I removed it from my list of videos, which it won't take me very long to be able to bring it back up. If I want to bring it back up here, I can just take a minute. But she had in my list of videos, there was one in particular where Danae was cursing Derrick, and in it, she was talking about Psalms 55. And I'm just thinking to myself, boy, wouldn't it be nice to be in a house alone with this woman for any real length of time? It'd be nice to be alone in the house with this lady for any real length of time.
Now, most people are in an uproar about
if you remember
the
this
word
video
of God
here, that's when she was talking about that.
Bible, and they are
did this
used
earlier
to
here about
practicing
Miss Jackson
earlier this year
because
they don't open their mouths.
She let him have it with both barrels.
Read the scriptures.
And I told you all then. This is going to be a bad
prayer for everything
this
that
is
going to
be a bad one for her.
If your husband is cheating on you or your wife is cheating on you, you want to go to Psalm 55 and read that, right? And as you read that and speak that out loud between you and God, God does something. He moves. He acts on your behalf. Why is that? Because the word of God is active and alive. And we know that it's active and alive because if we go to the book of John, he says, in the beginning was the word. Now, most people are in an uproar about the word of God because they have not read their Bible and they are used to practicing powerless Christianity because they don't open their mouths and actually read the scriptures, right? So when you go to the book of Psalms, there's a prayer for everything that you will experience in your life. If your husband is cheating on you or your wife is
Okay, forgive me. I keep slashing the audio. You can see that she was referring to Psalms. She was talking about Psalms 55. She was talking about Psalms 55. And in Psalms 55, you can see what it says. I put it in red for you, but actually all the way down, you can see that. He has put forth his hands against those who were at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. But you, O God, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. But I will trust in you. So when Danae is referencing Psalms 55, I wanted you to be aware that that's what she was talking about. That's what she was referring to, Psalm 55. And when she talks about that, that ain't nothing nice. That ain't nothing nice. But it goes a little further here. What I've done so far is I read for you what she had. I showed you what was on her Instagram before. This is the actual post that went along with that video. This is the actual post that went along with that video. So I took the liberty of pointing it out here so you can see it for yourselves. And it says, when the man you love and have kids with destroys your soul with reckless decision making, you must choose be alone with God. When your heart has been shattered and reshaped into something that doesn't quite feel normal inside your chest, with mental, emotional, and soul pain that is unbearable, there is only one man, all caps, who can fix it, and that is the Holy Spirit. By the way, as you can see, this goes on for a while. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you can see it went on for a while. When you are suffering so much that each next breath seems excruciating, and you don't know how you can live without that man, while at the same time being angry with that man because he has crushed your spirit due to his unconscious. Oh my. Let me zoom in and see if that is what we think it is on Miss Holy Roller's page. Oh boy. Yeah, that is what we thought it was now, isn't it? Yeah, that is what we thought it is. All right. You have made an idol of that man, husband or not. If you have heard God hates divorce and using that for strength to work it out with a man who continuously chooses, you have made an idol of that man. You are people pleasing, and you're out of order in the sight of God, married or not. And this requires repentance and renunciation. One thing God hates more than divorce is a woman with a do you all see this? Let me go ahead and scroll up so you can read this for yourselves and see this is literally what she said. One thing God hates more than divorce. Which chapter of the Bible said that? I guess her version of the Bible that says the Bible is a book of curses and spells. One thing God hates more than divorce is a woman with a destroyed soul idolizing a man who does not have the power to destroy her soul and body in hellfire. I don't think that's what Matthew 10:28 is saying. I don't think that's what it says. I'm pretty sure it's referring to fear God. I'm pretty sure that's not what it's not what she says. I'm pretty sure it's not what she says. I'll tell you the other thing that is destroying Danae now, and it's no laughing matter. The other thing that's destroying her now is that her dude is on Facebook and YouTube as we speak. And the other women don't care. They don't care. Danae is sitting up here. I mean, she is broken down. She is falling apart. She is disassembling before our eyes. Literally. Literally. For those of you who are joining us and didn't see the video here earlier, just so you be aware, you can hear it for yourself.
I promise to be honest when I speak to you. Wanna put you at the top of my list. Wanna walk in and you don't hold it against me. Nothing, but I need you for everything. And when I'm honest with you, telling you my truth, you keep it a picture every time I kick you into it. No games, oh, don't change.
Yeah, you heard that right.
That you don't really need me for nothing, but I need you for everything. I'm honest with you, telling you my truth. You keep it a picture every time I kick you into it.
And let me be clear, I'm not mocking anybody. I would never mock somebody. This isn't something that I mock. Walking around with a broken heart, that's not something I'm gonna mock. I'm not gonna mock that. But I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I don't know this person also has phony tendencies. And they're thinking that now they're going to weaponize their tears and get everybody on their side. But the real problem that she has is not really with Derrick. The real problem that she has is that the sisterhood is dead. And one of the reasons that the sisterhood is dead is because folks like Danae, I found it to be rather ironic, Danae, that, by the way, you don't like a woman running around with a broken heart. You don't like that. And meanwhile, you sitting up here big upping Miss Raven Hartwell. So you're big upping a woman who cheated on her husband and went to the internet to brag on it. You're big upping a woman who cheated on her husband, but you want the world to have scorn against yours. Make it make sense. Better yet, don't bother. Better yet, don't bother. Found it all to be very interesting. Selective outrage. Not talking about Chris Rock special, but selective outrage. Couldn't help but notice. There are some lessons I want you all to take away from this tonight. There are some lessons I want you to take away from this because I don't want you to be fooled. Let's be clear about a couple of things here. First of all, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Hate to break the news to you, ma'am, but the real reason why you're upset is very simple, and this is an abject lesson to everyone. The same thing I said to Lala, Anthony, and the rest of them. Baby, you knew what you were marrying. You knew what he was. And you liked it. You gonna have to be in it to win it now. You gotta be in it to win it. You can't punk out now. You got kids, the house, and everything else. You are internationally known. You got to be in it to win it. Miss Anna Ministries, don't nobody know who she is? People know who you are. You got to be in this to win this. Now, right now, what you are expressing is a whole lot of anxiety because, as I said several months ago when all this broke, and over a year ago when all this broke, and a couple of years ago, she's getting ready to become a single mom. She is mentally and emotionally preparing herself because she realizes, old Derrick is back in these streets and he would rather be there than be with you. You're going to be a single parent. And you're not going to be able to bully men into going along with it the way that Miss Anna Ministries. You see, she could find herself a self-hating individual who would go ahead and is color struck. But you aren't gonna have that. You don't have somebody who's color struck that you can sit here and rely on. You're going to have to choose from the pool of black men in Atlanta. Let me say that again. You're going to have to pull from the pool of black men in Atlanta. And you're going to have to make it work. Atlanta, Houston, or wherever you are. You're going to have to go with whatever it is. Baby, you can sit up here and listen to Miss Fortune Cookie if you want to. Miss Fortune Cookie doesn't have a ring on her finger. Miss Fortune Cookie is not in the same boat you're in. So delusion might feel good in the interim, but ma'am, let's just face it. You back out here. You are out here. You're a single mom. Soon you'll legally be a single mom with 2 kids. And they by Derrick Jackson. And you're going to have to, what you're going to have to do now is go see if you can go find somebody who's going to patch them holes together. But I will tell you one thing. I will say one thing. I find it to be difficult to believe that you're going to be able to march back out there and find somebody who's going to pay for the big old house and find somebody to pay for the new cars. And just off the rip, he's just going to walk in the front door paying for that. Baby, you know that's not the way it works. Them ain't the rules. Those are not the rules. Those are not the rules. You can go listen to all this happy talk. And by the way, she's in that Anna Ministries comments and Real Kim's comments and Raven Hartwell's comments. Okay, Raven Hartwell got her husband. Raven Hartwell has her husband. Raven Hartwell cheated on him and he's still sitting there. She's got her husband. She figured out a way to work that out with him. Whatever she said to him must have sounded pretty damn good because he stayed. Now he's being humiliated. She got her husband. How about you? You're losing the husband sweepstakes. You're losing the husband sweepstakes is what I'm saying. Miss Real Talk Kim don't give a damn so long as you keep buying her little old amateurish hoodies. You don't have a husband. Or at least he's getting ready to fly the coop. Getting ready to fly the coop. No, I don't think a passport will work for her. I don't think it doesn't work for single moms the way it does for men. It doesn't work the same way. The anxiety is building. The pressure is mounting and the anxiety is building because she realizes now that she is on her way to the discount bin. As long as she has her husband, she's in a different store altogether. But without her husband, welcome to the discount bin. I'm not trying to be mean. What I'm saying is that when a woman gets divorced, here we go. And she's upset because Derrick right now, you all can go to Derrick's Facebook page. You can go to his YouTube page. She is upset because Derrick Jackson has been exposed to the world. She can sit up here and make all the Snapchat and Instagram videos and stories she wants to. All these, talking about all these other women. The rest of womanhood doesn't care. Do you all understand? None of these women care. They know who her husband is. They know what her husband is. And they are all stepping over her spiritually dead body to get to him. They don't care. The comment section still have hundreds of women big up in him knowing what he's done. You know why? Because they want him to get out the way. Because contrary to popular damn belief here, contrary to what you heard from Miss Lion Anna Ministries, most of these chicks out here, they're like, hey, I'll take a side chick position. I'll take a side chick position. In front of their friends and everybody else on camera. I ain't gonna do that. But when Derrick roll up, oh, I'll take that side chick position. I'll take it. You got an application? I'll take the position. While everybody else is sitting up here lying about it. Now she realizes reality is coming into view. That no amount of exposing Derrick is affecting the way that the world, or particularly women, see him. Derrick is going to keep every single one of his options, and you are going to lose every single one of yours. There isn't some self-hating coon out there waiting to come scoop you up. He's going to retain all of his options, and exposing him isn't going to fix it. That's what she's upset about. She's trying to figure out some way to go nuclear and shame him in front of the world because she wants the world to acknowledge, hey, look what he did to me. Don't you see how bad he is? Look how he's crushed me. And in reality, the problem is that Derrick did it because Derrick knows what most of us as men know. I'm about to give y'all some hard lessons tonight. So ladies, I gave the fellas the work last night. Ladies, I got to drop these truth bombs on you. I've got to do it. Let me tell you something. The reason why men can move the way they move is because women moving the way they moving. Women don't love each other. Women hate each other. Your girlfriend, your mother, your sister, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. If that man is the bag, there's not enough for them to go around. They gonna talk big to you in front of Facebook. If that man got it and he's stacked and got it, they ain't trying to hear nothing you saying. You're not gonna shame them. You can throw all the tantrums you want to. You're not gonna shame them. These other women have broken the truce. They've broken the compact. Derrick knows he can go pick it up anywhere. He can pick it up anywhere. Jason, anywhere? Yeah. I'm from Louisiana. The rest of your sisters out here, while you sitting up here trying to lock arms with Raven Hartwell, you should be taking Raven Hartwell to the woodshed. You should be taking Raven to the woodshed. You need to be all these years of having your husband lie to women and tell the women that they're perfect. Do you now wish that your husband had been telling the women that they were no good, backstabbing, cutthroat, ruthless wenches? Do you think now you should have had insisted that your husband use his bully pulpit to say that? Because there is no shortage of women out there who are willing to shamelessly help your husband cheat. There's no shortage. Hell, these chicks will lay up with Derrick to take a selfie. Just so they can feel like they're getting the wife treatment for a few minutes. They'll lay up with your husband just to get a selfie. When you could have spent all these years keeping him real and honest. Ladies, the reason why you all love the wrong kind of men is because women love to be lied to. And you won't let somebody sit down and be honest with you and tell you it is what it really is so that you can have a real relationship. Derrick was never perfect. Derrick was swimming in insecurities, but he didn't feel like he could express those insecurities to her. So instead, he became the world's most ruthless, degenerate liar. And now he's got nothing but a flock of females willing to attend his every sexual need and don't give a damn. Why is that? Why is she a part of it? Why is it the women out there who are taking part of it? Why is it so easy to find? Let me explain female psychology to you all right now so that you get this straight. And I'm talking about Danae right now. Let me explain female psychology here. Let me explain it. There is an element to the female psyche that is composed of vanity. I said it. Women naturally develop a certain level of vanity. Men develop detachment naturally. We develop detachment, and women develop vanity. Here's the problem. Vanity, when left unchecked, will eventually degenerate into narcissism. And lowlives like Derrick Jackson become very good at appealing to a woman whose vanity has become narcissism. Same thing with Real Talk Kim. These people are very good at that. But in the case of Derrick, her husband has become an expert at being able to cultivate that in women. So you are surrounded by a bunch of narcissistic females, but you don't have the guts to call it out for what it is. And now he's got you on the internet boo-hooing and singing the blues. And I'm not mocking you. I'm not mocking her. I'm not mocking her at all. I take that very seriously. Nobody deserves to have their heart stepped on and stomped all over like it's frat week with the Kappas. But we need to be honest about how this occurred. Most women today will not let men be honest with them because she won't be honest with the man. Danae did not want to be honest about who she was and what she wanted. She was an insecure religious zealot who sees religion as a tool that you can use to cobble together your insecurities. I mentioned this before. No man is turned on by seeing this in a female. No man is happy to see this in a female. No man considers this to be a plus in a female. You know why? Because if you're a guy who tries to act like that's a plus and that's okay and that's all right and we good, where that ends up is right here. This is where it ends up. It ends up right here. When you allow a female to sit up here and tell you that you are not the final word, that her interpretation of the Bible is the final word. And take a look at how quickly she tosses the Bible out on its ear. She loves the Bible so much, hey God, I hate him. Really? Which chapter of the Bible encourages you to text message God about who you hate? You need a therapist, not a priest. You certainly don't need a hotline to God for this. Which version of the Bible is she reading that says that? And why is it that the females are not calling her out? Because fellas, a chick who intends to defy your authority starts stockpiling things. I'm talking to the men right now. Fellas, if she intends to defy your authority, she starts stockpiling things. Look out for a chick who who starts talking about her education. She intends for her degree to override your authority. Be careful about a chick who talks about her Afrocentrism. She intends for that to override your authority. Beware of a chick who talks about her job or her income. She intends for that to override your authority. Beware of a chick who talks about her religion being paramount. She intends to use that to override your authority. Workplace hoes, academic hoes, conscious hoes, religious hoes. Goes on both sides of the fence. She intends on using these things as her justification or her shield to do these things against your will and against your authority. Ladies, I'm telling the fellas how y'all move. You're going to be mad tonight, but I got to tell them how you move. A lot of these young cats out here don't get it. They're walking around in a daze. They're still thinking y'all are composed of sugar and spice and everything nice. He's coming to the table in good faith. He doesn't understand what he's dealing with. Got to give him the heads up. Got to give him the heads up. Danae was perfectly fine with Derrick Jackson doing as he do. Perfectly fine with Derrick Jackson doing what he do, so long as she was getting caked up the way she felt she should. Now, don't get me wrong, Derrick was in violation. Derrick was in very clear violation. Years ago, Kevin Samuels began repeating something he heard from me. I gave the rules about what a man needs to do if he's going to have side chicks. If a man's going to have side chicks, there are 3 rules. Rule number 1, you can't get anybody pregnant. Rule number 2, you can't catch an STD. Rule number 3, you can't embarrass the woman in public. You can't let the side chick do something that embarrasses her in public, nor do you take her places that could embarrass her. If you like to go to a certain hotel with your side chick, your woman can't go there. Ever. In life. Ever. You drive by there, I don't give a damn what's going on. You tell her, oh, it's booked, it's full. They never have a vacancy. And leave it alone. But you don't do that. So Derrick was in clear violation. Absolutely. Absolutely. But understand something. She thought she had a religious trump card. She thought she had a religious trump card, and now reality is coming into view. Now she's engaging in denial. She's engaging in denial. Let me ask you all something here. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Hey, Miss, what's your face? Miss, Anna Ministry. As I understand it, you used to be dating the doctor. As I understand it. So, is your husband on par with the doctor? That's not y'all's house you're in, so is your husband on par with the doctor? I'm just asking for a friend. Body language means a lot. I'm gonna go there. Oh, I'm gonna go there. This guy looks more meek and timid than Russell Wilson. Take a look at her. She looks confident. This guy looks as unconfident as a person can be. He looks more limp than the shirt he's wearing. I ain't dissing him. I'm saying look at the body language. He's not comfortable. Look at the body language. He's not comfortable. He's not comfortable in his own skin. In the chat room, you said she done trapped him. Could be. He doesn't look comfortable. She looks happy as hell, but she doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't. He doesn't. Look at him. Does that look confident? Her body language says confident, assured. I'm into this. His body language says the exact opposite. He doesn't look comfortable in that chair. He doesn't look comfortable standing up. He doesn't look comfortable next to her. In the chat room, Ebony, we're going to have you call up here in a few minutes. So let me go ahead and open up the Zoom. We're going to have you call in a few minutes here. So mods, you can go ahead and get her information. But I'm giving a lesson here tonight. There's a bunch of you out here, you are miserable. Let me explain to you the reason why you're miserable. Because nobody will tell you the damn truth. Don't nobody want to be no damn single mom. There ain't no prospects out here. There aren't any. There are no prospects out here. This lying Anna Ministries woman, I sat here and showed you all. She was blatantly lying through her teeth. Telling everybody else about how great it is and how wonderful it is where she is now. That's real damn interesting. Because that's not what you were saying a year ago, a few months ago. That's not what you were saying then. Back then, you were saying something completely different. Yeah, this was what you were saying back then. Single in your 30s, things you got to deal with in dating. Oh, yeah, this is what you were talking about then. You didn't like it. While you're telling everybody else about how fly it is and how great it is and how many options they're going to have, and y'all just wait. And what she did was grab the first beta she could get. You think she's going to be happy with that? You think she's going to be okay with her beta? You think she's going to be cool with her beta man sitting up here talking to her? You think that's going to be all right? Because I don't. I don't think this was the plan. I don't think this is the way it was supposed to go. I think when she got with her doctor, that was supposed to be it. I think when she got with the doctor, that's where she was trying to go to. She was looking for the doctor to get her out of that. She was waiting for the doctor to go. That was the one she wanted. She wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't what she wanted. She wouldn't be saying, hey, I don't want to think about the doctor then if everything was going great. That's not what she was looking for. That isn't what she wanted. She was looking to get taken out on a major high. And what I'm telling you is that if that doctor is not what she really wanted, if she didn't really want this, then look for it to be a problem. She's not going to let that go. She's not going to let that go. She's not going to let that go. She's telling you right now, I'll be damned. I was looking, hey, where's the bag? How many women really believe that? How many real women really believe that that's what she really wanted? Because I'm asking myself something. She said, I met someone who I thought was the one. And then he had 3 side chicks. I met someone I thought was the one, and he had 3 side chicks. Sounds like they didn't think that over. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines here. I'm going to open up the phone lines and we can get Miss Ebony on the line for us so she can go ahead and explain to everybody exactly why she is, where she is. And for everybody else listening in, you'll have your opportunity to go ahead and give us a call too. By the way, Miss Ebony can call us on Zoom. I would love for her to explain to us what's going on. I'd love for her to explain to her what's going on. Let's go ahead and get that queued up for you here. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to Zoom in there also. And I know that tonight is a bitter pill to swallow. I know tonight's a bitter pill to swallow, but as it is, this woman is crushed, and she's not the only one. She's not the only one because these folks out here have been lying to each other for so long that when I tell them that the discount bin is in view, they start arguing that there's no discount bin. They start arguing there's no discount bin. And that's not something that you can sit up here and argue against. That's not something you can argue against. In any case, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Also, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Zoom for you as well, so we can go ahead and get that going. So for the folks in the chat room there, remember I do give priority to Zoom. And by the way, I'm not beating up on anybody. I'm not beating up on anyone. I am not mocking anybody. That is the last thing I'm doing here tonight. I'm not mocking anyone. I just need to put this in its proper perspective. I need to put it in its proper perspective. Because right now what's going on is that you've been lied to for so long that individuals are actually trying to march through the real world with the same garbage that's not working for them in the fake one. Let somebody be real with you. Let somebody be real. By the way, let Ebony know I'm pinning the link to the Zoom at the top of the chat room. Go on ahead and put it up there. And on the telephone lines, the number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Folks keep using that term. I'm going to come back to that in a few moments here. Let me go ahead and on Zoom, I've got somebody here. They're trying to connect their audio, or at least they're trying to find it. At least that's the general idea. Unmute yourself. You're going to need to unmute yourself. Okay. If folks start playing on the Zoom, I'm going to have to start banning people from it. But the phone lines are open for you here. You can go ahead and give us a call. Let me get caller from area code 407. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Ebony calling from Orlando.
Okay, Ebony, you're on the wrong line for that, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You were asked to call in on Zoom. Ebony, you had a lot to tell us.
I didn't have so much to tell you.
Yes, you have, ma'am. You were posting every other second in the chat room. Jesus saves. Jesus is Lord. You were religious freaked out up in here. Yeah, you had a lot to say.
Okay. From that standpoint, say, for example, if she was Muslim, what we would have emphasized when it comes to her religious beliefs.
What's your point?
My point is that there's a lot of people in here, such as myself, that have, same as the similar beliefs that she does. I don't follow Christ the way she does. But,
so you believe that God's Bible allows you to curse people. So you believe that?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
So you believe that God's Bible is a book of spells to put curses on people you don't like?
No.
Well, that's what she believes. But that's what she believes. I played it for you. That's what she believes.
Yeah, I'm totally against that.
Okay, what part of her? Okay, well that's the main thrust of her Instagram page, just post after post after post. I've already done the program about that. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, where she did that post after post. So what part of her do you believe to it? Because that's pretty much all she says.
No, I definitely don't believe in her standpoint and her approach when it comes to her religious beliefs. But, I was just viewing my standpoint as far as, Jesus does save. And I'm just kind of emphasizing that within my life.
She didn't say anything about, but she doesn't say anything about Jesus saves. So you didn't hear her say that one time. She doesn't say anything about Jesus saves. She talks about Jesus condemns.
You're absolutely right. I totally understand that standpoint. But
okay, so what part of her religious viewpoint do you agree with? Third time.
I don't believe in anything that she says as far as her casting spells and her using certain scriptures and words to do devious things. But people were making comments in the chat and representing themselves, and so was I.
The first thing you said when you got on the phone, boy, you're not a very good liar here. You said you agree with her religious perspective when you got on the phone. Now you're saying you don't. This is a great argument against church.
That she stands for.
You don't believe in
I don't believe in anything that she stands for, but it was more of me making a statement because people were making their statements.
In other words, okay, what statements were they making that you had a problem with? Now that you backed off, first she agreed with her perspective, now she doesn't agree with it at all. So this is the reason why people don't like going to church. I never agreed with her, Jason. That was the first words out of your mouth.
I did not agree with her. I never did.
That's the first words out of your mouth?
No.
Yes.
I think the phone was going in and out.
No, it wasn't.
No, honestly, Jason.
No, it wasn't.
I'm not.
No, it wasn't.
I've been following for a long time.
We heard you clearly. We heard what you said clearly.
No, I didn't. I promise. I don't need to lie to you, Jason.
Then stop lying. Then stop lying.
No, there was a delay on the phone, honestly. There was a delay on the phone.
Well, I'm repeating your words. You said that you had a similar religious perspective as her.
No, I was speaking on behalf of myself and my religious beliefs as a Christian.
Okay, what part of her Christianity do you identify with?
I don't identify with none of her Christianity. Most of my statements was in reference to the people making their statements in the comments.
And what statements were being made that you took issue with?
Because someone made a comment and put Jesus saves with a question mark. So I took it upon myself to answer that, to say, yes, Jesus does save.
You didn't just post that once, and that wasn't the only thing you posted.
Okay, what else did I post? I was posting a lot of things. So
yes, ma'am. That's my point. Is you didn't just stop with Jesus saves. You were in there posting a whole bunch of religious zealotry. You didn't just stop with Jesus saves, ma'am. You were trying to defend what she was doing.
What else did I
ma'am,
so I can
slow down.
I have to explain to you why.
You were the one who said that she was responding to things she heard. You mentioned somebody said Jesus saves. What else did you hear that you took issue with besides that?
I wasn't commenting on her actions. I was commenting to the folks in the chat room.
Okay. You were commenting to the folks in the chat room. You are also coming from an ultra-religious...
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're also coming from a religious standpoint. Do you understand that some of this conflicting behavior that you're exhibiting on the phone right now is the reason why folks have a hostile attitude towards religious Christians? You realize that?
It was more of like how they were making a comment to where Jesus saves, and it was a question mark. So I took it upon myself to say, yeah, Jesus does save.
Okay.
He is our salvation.
But they were saying that because she's condemning people. So clearly that's not the case.
Oh,
do you have any children, Ebony?
I can't discuss certain things on the phone because of the work I do.
Right. Ebony, you have any children? Then that had your job doesn't have anything to do with that. Okay, thank you. And do you have a husband?
Yes, I do.
I don't believe that.
I do.
I don't believe that.
I promise you I do. I promise you I do. I'll tell you everything about me when we get off the phone, Jason. I promise you I do.
I don't know how you're going to tell me everything about you when you get off the phone, because if you email me, I'll just block you because I don't take emails from people I don't agree to. Because I can only go so
far. It's because of the work that I do, the type of work that I do, I can only provide so much of a personal information.
Okay. You do know that Jesus doesn't like people who lie about their marital status, right? You do know that, right?
No, I'm not lying.
You know Jesus don't fool with y'all.
Yeah. I've been married for 23 years. I got married in 2000.
She had to do the math on that real quick.
That's okay. It takes time. When you're in it for so long.
Congratulations. How old are you?
Thank you. Oh, gosh.
She's got to try to do the math real quick.
I'm old enough. I'm old.
Old is a relative term.
I am 42.
That math is suspicious. Let me guess. One of the kids is older than your marriage.
No, I have an 18-year-old, 16-year-old, and 11-year-old.
And so, in other words, she got married because she got pregnant.
No, I was married before I was pregnant.
I'd like to see the DNA.
I got married when I was 20.
No, I'd like to see the DNA on... Ma'am, you said you're 42.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
born in 1980.
23 years, ma'am. It's basic math lets you know what that would be, ma'am. It's 23 years. Yikes.
Yeah, I got married in 2000. And this year will be 23 years.
Okay. Right, you said you got married when you were 20.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay, well, we're not at 23 years yet, ma'am.
I know, I'm sorry.
Okay.
22.
Well, she's already curving numbers, which means she's like, oh, I'm taking a little liberties with the numbers of my marriage. I figure she's taking a little liberties with a few other things there. Well, how do you feel about Danae's prospects now being a single mom?
Wow. I would say it's difficult because in her mindset, she thought that she was doing the right thing. And
what's the right thing?
Being that obedient. From her perspective, her mindset, she probably felt that she was that obedient and submissive wife, trying to find the quote unquote rules.
Okay, well, let's ease off of that one for a minute, because you say, well, from her perspective, let's just talk objectively. Do you think that she was being a good wife?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Do you think she was being a good wife?
I don't know her personally, so I can't really answer that question.
Well, you know what you've observed. I can't judge that. I don't know. There you go.
As far as what I've observed, from what I've observed, it's not enough for me.
Now, here's the thing
really
right
analytical.
here. Here's the thing right here. So if a female is an absolutely pathetic individual, they're of low character, and you females get together and y'all lock arms in the sisterhood, well, I don't know if she's a bad wife. Now you can realize how women as a group are so screwed up. In society today as a group, women will not hold each other accountable because you all see power in upholding the sisterhood. So it doesn't matter how slutty a female is, you gonna back her because, well, I might need to be slutty too, so I better defend that. And it doesn't matter how bad of a person she is or how bad she performs, well, I might need to use those abuses too. So we gonna lock arms and defend it. And in the process, you all refuse to say that anything is bad. Well, except the men. Now, if the men do something, if they do anything even displeases you, it doesn't have to be bad. It's just, I'm displeased. Well, that you can judge. You all judge men all day. But when it comes to another woman, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what happened. Oh, I can't judge. And then we wonder why women are in the bad state that they're in today. The sisterhood of failure is a real thing. You all back each other's play in degeneracy as opposed to backing each other's play in discipline. What would be a bad wife?
Yeah, I hear your point.
Tell me what would be a bad wife in your opinion? Ebony, what would be a bad wife? What would be a bad wife in your opinion?
What is a bad wife in my opinion?
Go on.
It could be a series of situations that can make a wife a bad wife.
Good. Give us two examples. Give us two examples. Give us two examples. Okay, ma'am. No, give us. No. Ebony, do not talk over the host. Give us two examples, and you can't use adultery.
Not giving her man respect.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, no. What does that mean?
Not having him to be the final authority when it makes the decisions in the household, or making him feel less of a man. I know that for the most part is detrimental in a marriage.
So in other words, it's the man's definition of what disrespect is. So in other words, you agree that it is the man who gets to decide if you are disrespecting him or not. You don't get to decide that. He's the one who determines if your behavior is disrespectful.
Absolutely.
Do you believe that?
Absolutely.
Who is the authority in your home?
My husband's my authority in my house. It's been like that since 2000 when we got married.
So God is not the authority in your home, your husband is?
Well, for the most part, and how the ordinance is biblically is that your husband is your head, and then, of course, God is the head of your husband.
Right. But
so it falls into that ordinance that he submits to God.
Right, but that's not what I asked you.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No. I'm just asking for clarity here. So what you're saying is that your husband is the head of your household, not God.
Yes, sir. Well, God is the head of the household in its entirety. So it's God, my husband, and then me.
Okay, and if your husband is doing something outside of God's will, then what?
Give me an example so I can answer that question a little bit more detailed, Jason.
You're the religious one. You tell me, what would you consider to be outside of God's will?
I would say adultery.
Okay. Remember what I said before, other than adultery.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's see. Something that's outside. I would say physical abuse. Physical abuse.
Okay, well, I think that would be a given. I really, really do think that would be. I mean, that's going to be a given. What else you got?
You want me to choose another one?
What else you got? It's something obviously something that would not be a crime. Well, yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Consistent lying.
Okay, I suppose what he's lying about. What if your husband does not want you hanging out with a certain set of females?
I've done that. I've isolated myself from those certain amount of people. In the beginning, I didn't understand until I did take a step back from those people and realized that if I continued, it would have led me down the wrong direction. So in the beginning, I didn't understand. But after, I'll say, a couple of months in reality, I'm glad that I did follow that decision and stepping away from those group of people.
And what do you think Danae should do now?
I think she needs mental health. I think she needs to surround herself with a good group of people, maybe family, maybe a professional therapist, and kind of get her mental back and get her relationship with her kids, first of all. When marriages and divorces happen, when separation and divorces happen, it can take a toll on the kids. So, yeah, she definitely got get herself together, but most importantly, she need to get her kids together because I'm sure it's affecting them as well. She definitely cannot focus on him because he can care less of who she is and what's going on with her. But first, she need to get her mental together so she can be a better parent for her children.
Okay, but now I noticed something that you said there. You said that she needs to get herself together. Don't focus on him because he obviously doesn't care about her. That
is correct.
Have we observed anything that shows she cares about the kids?
I'm sorry?
Have we observed anything that illustrates that she cares about the kids?
I don't know. I'm just speaking as a mother perspective.
All right.
I'm just,
all right now.
I didn't evaluate so much about her, but I'm just speaking
y'all know this
on behalf as a mother.
Every time she gets asked that, I don't know. I can't judge now. I don't know now. I don't know about it now.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, you are. You're literally saying
it.
You're literally saying it. You're literally saying, I can't judge it. Every time you turn around, I can't judge it. You've seen what she's done. She's mentioned everything.
I didn't say that, Jason.
She has mentioned,
Stop.
She's made videos talking about everything except the children.
Repeat that one more time.
She's made videos about everything except the children. Even when she's condemning people, she's condemning them about herself and Derrick, not about the children.
Okay, well, then I'll just answer it in a one-way answer. And then, of course, she need to get herself together and get her mental straight. I will not include the kids. And she needs to surround herself with a good group of sound people that she can rely on, depend on when it comes to her emotions and her and when it comes to the accountability of that. Because I think at this moment she's definitely a train wreck, unfortunately.
Well, right now she's a religious zealot.
Yeah, the spirit of religion can be really detrimental on a person's mindset.
So what do you do with that?
Just like I said, she definitely needs to, take a step back from this whole entire situation with her husband, and she needs to get surrounded with a group of people that's going to help her and guide her in the right direction. Because
right.
It seems like
you're saying that
she's kind of
you're saying that, but here's the reality. Here's where reality smashes fantasy in the face. Number one, she's a religious zealot and has been since she was a kid. Now it has ended up the only way it could possibly end up.
Jason, can you define religious zealot? Can you define that?
Yes, a individual whose religiosity, word is religiosity, not religion. Religiosity, which is the outward expression of their religion, supersedes everything in their life when convenient. That's a religious zealot. Now, when you can show them that their interpretation of their religion, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4, it equals 5 or 6. When you show them incontrovertible proof, they don't accept the incontrovertible proof. They start arguing for why their interpretation is still correct. Even if there is not a word in their religious text that supports what they're saying, they revert back to it anyway. So that's a religious zealot. Somebody who uses religion as a crutch. Someone who uses it as a camouflage. Someone who uses it for that. That's a religious zealot. That instead of them taking care of life, that's what they do. Make sense?
I understand your standpoint.
Standpoint. Is that not a fact?
I just need to know your reference before I say it is a fact, but it definitely makes sense.
Okay, well, I understand it makes sense. I know that. But is that not true? A zealot is somebody.
I know people that do that. I've seen in my family, and I've seen friends of friends that do use religious as a crutch, or creates hypocrisy around religion, like wolves in sheep's clothing. So I understand what you're saying.
Yes, but a zealot by definition is somebody whose belief system overrides their not acceptance of the laws of physics and physical reality. Their belief system overrides that. So you're talking about sending a religious zealot to therapy. So the first issue is she's a religious zealot. She doesn't think she needs therapy. And without some way to compel her to do so, that's not going to work because she has to voluntarily accept it. Problem number 2, she's got a sisterhood of women, yourself included, who will either directly or indirectly back her play because we're looking out for the sisterhood. Problem number 3.
Yeah,
she is
I
now
think
being.
She probably need to surround herself with a group of sound women.
Problem number 3. We don't have sound women anymore. She doesn't have a group. Problem number 3. We don't have sound women as a group anymore. You got females out here, but you don't have sound women as a group.
That's the problem.
Yes, women can't rely on other women anymore. They'll either try to take her husband, get with him, even if it's just for a week, but they're not really going to try to see to her being okay. The other problem is, last but not least, she is in denial of where she actually is. Religious zealotry is what got her into this mess, either because of her belief in a twisted interpretation of the Bible, or it led her to accept this guy who is so obviously bogus and fraudulent as her husband. But she got here because she wanted to be. And she's been in it so long.
Yeah, there's a lot of false teachers out there.
Yeah, but now, okay,
and I definitely,
now she's got kids.
Her husband is definitely hypocritical on his actions.
Well, now you're very judgmental where he's concerned. So she can't say that she doesn't know the details.
I wasn't being judgmental.
She can't say she doesn't know the details. Okay, ma'am, calm yourself down. Calm yourself down. You hear me talking. Calm yourself down.
Jason,
you're not that.
No,
you ain't
Jason,
that drunk. You're not that.
You.
There's no delay that long. You ain't that drunk. Now she's very aware of Derrick Jackson's behavior. Now that she's up to date on and up to speed on, and she makes judgments about Derrick. But for anybody who thought it was being unfair, by the way, you know that she's not making judgments about Danae, but she's quick to snap back with a judgment about Derrick. She's very quick, very clear about Derrick.
No,
but not about Danae.
She needs to get mental help. I did say that.
Yeah, but you didn't say Derrick needs to get mental health. You're just saying Derrick's a scumbag.
Because you were asking me about her and not him most of the time.
Okay, but I don't have to ask you about that. Either both of them need mental help. You didn't say he needs any mental help, and I called him a degenerate. You're not saying he needs mental health. You're just like, yeah, he's a scumbag. He's still the father. He's still the father of those children. He will still have access to them for the remainder of at least their days as a minor. So he's still going to be a factor no matter what. You're not saying that she needs therapy, and by the way, he needs a help. He's been helping number two. You just said she needs therapy and he needs a jail cell. She needs help. She needs help, and Derrick is a lost cause.
No, I didn't say that. I don't think anyone.
That is what you said, because you didn't judge her, but you got plenty of a bag of judgment for Derrick. I just wanted to point that out.
No, it's just a matter of he's at a point that he's doing him right now. So I was just saying, since he's doing him, she needs to focus on her mental health.
Well, if he wasn't doing what he's doing right now, what would his role be? There's my point.
You mean in the household?
Okay, thank you. There's the point right there. Is, by the way, if that wasn't the case, what would you be doing? She doesn't have a job. She doesn't work. She's sitting around all day. These are decisions that she made. He created an environment where she could do it. But it's not like she's been sitting at home trying to become the most balanced person she can be. She's sitting around the house with CBN on one side, Fox News on the other, and her twisted interpretation of the Bible on the third.
But isn't she supposed to be at home?
No, in her case, no, she'd been better off with a job, because she wouldn't have been able to sit around. She wouldn't have been sitting around burying the Bible all day.
It's going to be boring.
Say what?
She's going to be boring if she gets a job, Jason.
She's boring now. She's an absolute bore now. What are you talking about? She's a bore now.
But in case of your own words, women are better at home.
This is how y'all know this is a single mom on the phone. So I don't appreciate you misrepresenting lying about having a husband.
I could have just past my husband. You can hear his voice. No, I'm not. I promise.
You could have just said that when you started. You didn't have to. We don't have to do that right there. But by the way, you've blown your cover about it. She's boring.
I'm sorry.
She's boring now, and you know that now. Sitting at home has not made her an exciting person. She sits at home and makes religious TikToks all day. She's not. She's not an interesting person now.
She's boring. She's submissive. She's obedient, and that's what a lot of the men like. Even the passport bros.
You said her getting a job would make her boring.
Isn't she supposed to be at home?
Okay, so which is it? Getting a job would make her boring, or being at home would make her more boring? Which one is it?
Well, according to what I viewed in your previous broadcast, working women are boring. So it's best for her to, I guess in her case, because you already said that she's boring, maybe she has to go to work. But I thought,
well, certainly if there's single moms, that's definitely going to be an issue there. But here's the thing. It's okay for her to be that type of boring because he's the man who entered into this phase of life with her. He's the one who caused it, so he entered into it with her. So my idea of her being boring isn't quite going to be his idea of her being boring, because they both entered this together. So they've been able to transition into this together. So he'll be more accepting of it. So it's not going to be quite the same. I will tell you one thing. There's nothing more boring than having a chick who just sits at home all day waiting for you to show up. I've been there and done that a couple times. They've got nothing but time on their hands. They don't have anything that they're developing. They're not developing themselves, generally speaking. If they start out that way, if you let them have too much leeway, they just stop doing things altogether. When you met her, she was competitive. She had to compete to be with you. Letting her stay home like that is going to take a special type of female who is not going to just start becoming lax and uncompetitive, because she's like, well, hell, you're competitive enough for both of us. Why do I have to keep competing? And that's generally the way that works. So yes, working women can be difficult to get with if you're trying to date them. Problem, in Derrick's case, he's already married to her. So he already got the benefits of the dating era with no kids and nothing in the way. Now he's transitioned her into wife and mother. So no, it's not the same thing. That's not what I was talking about in that program, but this isn't even the same thing. She could use some more activities in her life is what she needs. She needs to be grounded in the real world. She needs to spend time around real people, worldly people. So she can start to have something. All she's doing right now is living in a religious internet and cable TV bubble that is basically turning her into a cult member in her own house, which, by the way, when folks talk about that church they go to, is about the same thing. Okay, let's calm ourselves. Let's not do that.
What do you mean by that?
Let's not do that. What
kind of worldly
Okay,
people?
well, wait till the host is finished talking before you say something. We'll come back to that in a moment. She's got nothing but a cult-like bubble of programming circling around her 24/7, reinforcing the fallacies she already believes or wants to believe. And in the process, she can't even see that her husband's a damn sexual degenerate who's going to do anything and everything. That's what being closed off and isolated in an artificial religious bubble will get you. You're out of touch with the real world. Well, Jason, why does she need to associate with worldly people? Very glad that Ebony would ask that. The reason you associate with worldly people is so you can understand worldly ways. So just in case it ever walks into your house and sits on your couch, or worse, crawls into bed with you after 5 or 6 years of marriage, you've got something to compare it to. You don't do yourself any favors in this world by bragging about how ignorant you are about the people around you and the world you live in. Because the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how religious you are. Even the Bible says it. You're in this world. You got no choice to be in this world. Don't become of this world. Yeah, but you can't avoid becoming of this world if you don't understand this world. It's not enough to have a Bible in your hand and your own private interpretation. You need to see the people around you. That's like being a police officer. That's like being a soldier. You got to be smart. You can't be smart when you know nothing. Ignorance and intelligence cannot occupy the same space.
Thank you for defining that. I just wanted to build transparency on what you meant by that, because there's so many different categories and sectors.
You thought you had a gotcha. You thought I was fresh and fit. I have a unified ideology. I don't say everything I say has a foundation to it. And every time people ask me, I just repeat the same things. It has a foundation to it. You learn about other people so that people don't get the upper hand on you and can't get one over on you. Derrick didn't get one over on her, but she needs time in the real world, because the other thing she needs time in the real world with is
she needs time with the real world.
Okay, calm yourself down. Worldly people will call her on her bull crap. It's the religious folk like you who are going to have her back in her nonsense. Us worldly people, we ain't going to let her get by talk about she needs therapy. We're going to look at her and her husband. I've talked to you long enough. I've called you on several false statements you made just on the phone here. But you're talking about I don't know you. I've met you a million times. I've met you a million times.
I'm going to have to veto that statement. That's absolutely false.
She needs some real people around her, and that means some people who are not emotionally invested in her perspective of religion. She needs people with no dog in the fight who will call a spade and won't give her, quote unquote, the benefit of the doubt because she claims to be a Christian. She needs people who will look at her and say, I don't even care about your religion. I'm looking at you strictly as a person, with no concern or any sort of leverage given to the fact that credibility given to the fact of your religion. That is irrelevant. I'm just going to look at what you're doing, not what you say you are. That's what the benefits you get about being around worldly people. Worldly people don't have a dog in the religious fight. And if you're abusing your religion, worldly people are going to call you out on it.
That are religious.
No, ma'am. You know a lot of religious people who are worldly. You don't know a lot of worldly people who are religious.
That too.
No, you don't.
That too.
No, you know a bunch of religious people who are lying. You don't know any worldly people trying to pretend that they're religious, because there's no reason or benefit. First of all, you can't be worldly and religious. Now, you can be religious and pretend to be worldly. You can't be worldly and religious. There's no benefit to it. What does a worldly person benefit by claiming that they adhere to a strict set of rules and standards? What do they benefit?
No, I agree with you, but
okay, thank you. She says a lot of things. She says a lot of things.
In both avenues.
No, ma'am. You know religious people who pretend to adhere to the religion, but they're actually worldly. You don't know any true worldly people who are just pretending to be religious. No, you know religious people pretending to be religious, not worldly people pretending to be religious. And from what I've heard on this phone call, it's very easy to see. I mean, I can see why you would say that. I can see why that would be the case.
Oh, stop it, Jason. That's not true.
As it stands, how do you feel about her trip into motherhood?
What I feel about her trip into motherhood?
Into single motherhood.
Into what motherhood? I'm sorry.
Into single motherhood.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it takes a village to raise a child, so she's going to have to definitely reach out to her community and her family just to give her guidance on this transition, because it's going to have a lot, especially when it comes to financial stability. Like I said earlier in the conversation, her mental stability, physical, because she's going to be having to take a lot of, involvement with her children, because of course the husband is not there. So it's going to take a physical toll on her as well.
Where's this village of which you speak? Where's this village you speak of?
I'm sorry?
Where's this village that you speak of?
I would say like close family and friends.
Very clearly she doesn't have a lot of that.
I don't know that, but now I do.
You can take a look at what's going on with her. Very clearly she doesn't have that. Do you think that maybe she should work things out with her husband?
I mean, I would say so.
You haven't said it so far, but all right.
There. I would say that she can always seek opportunities for that if he's willing to meet her halfway. I wouldn't see anything wrong with that.
We've all known that Derrick Jackson was a degenerate liar from the day we first saw him. Why is it she's never called him out for it?
Maybe because she was in denial.
How could she be in denial when she's sleeping next to it? She certainly could see it when it hit her. When his lying smacked her in the face, she had no problem identifying it.
Yeah.
So that kind of disproves that, doesn't it? Boy, I'll tell you, this sisterhood is heavy. The sisterhood is heavy. They got each other's backs all the way to the gates of hell. They will watch you suffer and call it love.
Yeah, this is definitely an unfortunate case for her.
It's more than a misfortunate case. With sisters like yourself behind her, she's doomed.
No,
she's
doomed. Don't categorize me.
Ma'am, I'm just reporting the news.
I'm not going to let you lump sum me and nobody nowhere.
I'm just reporting the news.
No, sir.
I'm just reporting the news. That's all I'm doing. I'm
not
writing anything. I'm just reporting
me,
the news.
Jason. You can't do that. Don't lump me up in this lump of clay. No, sir.
Okay. I was going to have her get on Zoom, you all, but I've decided against that. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, the sisterhood is real. The sisterhood backs the play. You see, this is the problem that we have today. We're not allowed to be honest with you. We're not allowed to be honest with you and say exactly what it is. Ladies, allow a man to tell the truth to you. Allow a man, because you're going to have to accept it no matter what. There's the killing part about it. You're going to have to accept it no matter what. That is going to happen no matter what you do. That's the killing part about it. That's the killing part. Miss Anna Ministries can say all the garbage she wants to, but the bottom line is, you notice she's not talking about how religious her husband is. Now, she sits up here and talks about how religious she is, but when you go on her page, she doesn't really talk about how religious he is. And let me go ahead and show you one other thing. By the way, don't see anything up here that says wife. Now, there's a picture of a ring, but you don't see anything up here that indicates being a wife. Now, do you? By the way, one more thing. You don't see anything up here that indicates being a wife. She's got videos showing she's a mother, but in her headline here, ain't really nothing talking about being a wife like that. One little ring, and it's so small you have to squint to see it. You'll get eye strain. She's not really banging on the husband being this really religious dude like that. But she's going to tell everybody else what they don't need. She's going to tell everybody else what they don't need. And what I'm saying is that right now, the reason that Danae Jackson's in the mess that she's in right now is because men, not women, because the women, y'all just heard on that phone call right there. That's what happens when women speak to each other. Women will not level with each other because they lock into sisterhood mode, and it all becomes about support her, support her, support her. Even if she's dead wrong, even if she's beating and killing the kids, support her. Do not say anything she wouldn't like. Support her no matter what. Now the men, she snapped right into judgment mode. It became judgment day. Talking about the Bible, it became judgment day. But when it comes to the women, they lock arms and support each other. Even in their mess, especially in their mess, relentlessly, unmercifully, unyielding. They don't give a single inch to saying, hey, you need to stop that. They don't give a single inch to it. This is the environment that you end up in. And you wonder why young women today don't have anything reliable that they can lean on. The older chicks have messed them over. And they've been taught that your job is to deceive men. Let me tell you something, ladies. You need to allow a man to be honest with you. You need to allow the men to be honest with you because the other women are not going to be honest with you. They're going to say some of anything. You need to let a man say, yeah, I could work 60 hours a week, but you give me too many problems. You need to allow a man to say to you, you're not as good of a person as you tell yourself you are. Take a look at yourself. You need to allow a man to say, yeah, you a side chick. You could bully me and badger me into marrying you, but that ain't gonna get me to treat you like a wife. Well, Jason, take a look at Anna Ministries. First of all, Anna Ministries doesn't even have it like that. But second of all, even if you believe that she did, take a look at what she got. She went from the love of her life in high school to a doctor to this guy who, if body language could speak, it would say, Lord, help me. I'm not dissing the man. I'm not dissing the man. And oh yeah, by the way, I couldn't help but notice body language say a whole damn lot, don't it? When I look at other people's body language. Take a look at that guy's eyes. Look at how timid and meek his eyes are. He looks like he's scared she's going to turn around and smack the fire out of his ears. I notice that timidity and weakness bleeds out of him. Look at that. He doesn't even look straight at her when he talks. He's sitting up here looking forward. He doesn't even look like he's comfortable in his own skin. Very interesting. They don't look like they're comfortable in their own skin. Will you allow us to tell you the truth, or will you require us to inflict the truth? I can't speak for Derrick Jackson. I'm not sure at what point along the line that Derrick became the degenerate that he is today. What I'm going to do is speak for men in general. I'm going to speak for men in general. I'm going to speak for men in general and tell you all exactly what it is right now. She got with Derrick because it was very clear early on that he had something of a focus about him. Now, that's something that would have also had to have been there when he was in high school and college, too. He's focused. He just hasn't figured out what he's going to be focused about. And then he realized he could focus on being the best fraud that he could be. Right? But he needs to look like he's a winner. So at least he was able to get his physique together, and he realized chicks go totally blind after that point. And she stuck along for the ride, and he figured out how to make a bag out of it. Then she was like, that's it. Praise the Lord. My ship has come in. Without allowing that man to be honest with you. Ladies, can you be honest with yourselves and allow a man to be honest with you? If he's a producer, can you allow that producer to be honest with you? Will you allow a producer to be honest with you and tell you the truth that maybe you're just a side chick? Will you be honest and let a producer tell you the truth, which is maybe you're not wife material? Will you be honest and let a producer tell you the truth? You know what? You don't need to be having kids. You're not mother material. Will you be honest and let a man tell you, you know what, your degree don't mean a damn thing to me? Will you let a man be honest and tell you that? Will you let a man be honest and say, the only reason I let you keep going to church was because you was giving me sex easy? If I had known that the church was going to ease out everything else, I never would have walked into this. Will you let a man be honest with you about that? Will you let a man tell the truth about that? Will you let the men in society tell you the truth that these other women are lying to you? Anna Ministry is sitting up here lying through her teeth. She's acting like she got a winner and she doesn't. She grabbed the last train leaving and then went straight to social media. But you can see what she got. You can see what she has. Nothing about him says confidence. Hell, it doesn't even say that he's happy to be with her. Truth be told. This picture right here, the one right here, she's standing over him. Are you serious? That doesn't look masculine. You know what the hell you're looking at. This is a white Latina who, as I showed you previously, she's got hostility towards black folk, but she doesn't have any whites who are willing to go out on a limb for her. So she grabbed what she could get. And now she's on Instagram, faking her way through it, acting like she's really doing something boss. Don't ask who they are. You're 2 hours late. You can hear it on the playback. You all need to let men be honest with you. That your religion is a cute little thing for you to hold on the side. But there is no man who is dreaming of marrying a religious zealot who will literally get in the bed and snuggle up next to her Bible like it's her man. This is emotional imbalance. What did you think he was gonna do when he saw this was the way you were? What did you think? When he had an opportunity to level up and head out, he was going to level up and head out. His definition of leveling up might not be yours. But let me tell you, this list that Danae made in that video, this is the kiss of death. For those of you just joining us, on tonight's program here, we're talking about Derrick Jackson's wife. She has gone in a complete tailspin. This was a video that she posted on her Instagram. And it wasn't so great.
It feels better than to know you, and nothing's more important than to show you that nothing comes close to what the vibe is. Nothing's more exciting than the time spent with you. No one but you can love me true. How you love me when you love me and you tell me everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, and you mean the world to me. You are my everything, and I never ever wanna know what it's like without you. I feel you every day. I think I feel like this forever. As long as we're together, wanna know you each and every way. I promise to be honest when I speak to you. Wanna put you at the top of my list. Wanna walk it like I talk it. Wanna give you everything. Please tell me that you're rocking with this. You know all the ways to speak to me. I like it when it's just us talking, and you don't hold it against me. That you don't really need me for nothing, but I need you for everything. And when I'm honest with you, telling you my interest, you keep it official every time I kick it with you. It's no games, oh, don't change, cause you mean the world, and you don't hold it against me. That you don't really need me for nothing, but I need you for everything. And when I'm honest with you, telling you my interest, you keep it official every time I kick it with you. It's no games, oh, don't change, cause you mean the world to me.
Boy, I sure do hate it when that happens. I want to ask you all a question. Does this look like a woman who doesn't need her man? That's the question I'm asking you now. Does this look like a woman who doesn't need her man? Does she look like someone who is doing all right without that masculine energy anchoring her? Let's stop with the nonsense. Does she look like she's doing okay without that masculine energy in her life to anchor her? Does she look like she's holding it together? Do you realize how crazy you look out here today telling people that y'all are all right? And we're like, did you see your Instagram? And this is just Danae. Most of the women listening to me right now, you in a similar boat. You're living on Facebook. You're living on TikTok. You got random niggas running in and out. You're getting run through. You're hidden all off in your rooms, up under your bed in the fetal position. And you think you hurting them. You're making videos sitting up here bawling your eyes out. Derrick, I don't think that Derrick feels nothing, even though he's obviously exhibiting psychopathic dark triad tendencies. But this isn't going to move him. And you know what? It's not moving the females that Derrick is getting down with either. It's not moving them. They're not moved by it. They don't care. They're not sitting around wondering how to make you happy with it. Ladies, what I'm telling you is that this reaction that you're seeing here, this reaction is not the problem. That's the point I'm trying to make. This reaction isn't her going crazy. I'm telling you that this reaction is her going sane. This is when she starts being sane. This right here is the crazy part. This is the crazy part. This is the disconnected. This is the disaffected. This is out of your mind. This is imbalanced. This is nutty. I'm writing God hate you notes about my husband. That's nutty. I'm sitting here portraying myself in front of the world as a religious zealot. That's nuttiness. You didn't start looking sane until you finally got in touch with the real world. And getting in touch with the real world and your real world circumstances drove you to start acting like this. Yeah, this is you going sane. This is you realizing, getting in touch with your feelings and not letting people use you for a profit center. This is when you turned off a real Kim Talk and Anna Ministries and Raven Hartwell. This is what happened when you turned them off and you start actually listening to what's going on in yourself. We have a generation of absolutely miserable women today. The psychotropic drugs, the antidepressants, the substance abuse, the child abuse, the social media abuse. You're chasing likes where a man is supposed to be. You put a holy book where a man is supposed to be. You've tried to insert a degree where a man is supposed to be. You've grabbed a couple of bastard children where a man is supposed to be because your vanity has descended into narcissism. And now you're just a complete basket case. And at this point right now, Derrick is like, hey, he's broken off into, as I said, men become disconnected. Men become very easily disconnected is what we're groomed and raised to do. We become detached. Derrick is detached now. It's not that he's sending you into purgatory. He's just not trying to keep you away from it anymore. You know why? Because what you didn't do is make it clear that you need that masculine man. Understand something. She let him know every damn day that he was replaceable. Well, replaceable? I'm replaceable by what? Oh, you're replaceable with this? Yeah. I can replace you with this. Perfectly fine. Take a look at me. You realize right now you are daring a man to leave you? You're daring a man to leave you. You're daring him to get a side chick. You're daring him to take out an insurance policy against you and your obvious contempt. What motivation, what incentive does he have to not publicly humiliate you when you left the marriage a long time ago? What incentive does he have for that? And if he's got mama issues, Katie barred the door. I want to ask a question here tonight, one that liars like Anna Ministries and Raven Hartwell, one that liars like them won't ask. Let me go ahead and blow this thing up right now. I want to blow this up so you all can see this front and center. I want to get this right here where you can see this. I want to say something tonight. I want to ask a question. And I know it's going to sound soft and sappy when I ask this, but I want to ask this. To all of the ladies in this chat room tonight, to all of the ladies in this chat room, the females only, how many of you are lonely tonight? Give me the hand up emoji. Can we just keep it real just this one time? You can go back to being fake when the program is over. Go back to being fake then. But for just one moment, one time, can you acknowledge the real thing? We just passed Valentine's Day. Most of you don't have a man to speak of. You had to hobble through yet another year alone. How many of the women listening to me right now, how many of you are willing to state and willing to admit that you're lonely? How many of you are willing to actually come out and say it, that you're lonely? That you do not have that masculine energy in your life and you are lonely. You're lonely. You miss him. You miss all of them, probably one in particular. You've left your parents' home and now you've come out here into the real world and you don't have your father with you like that. And now you don't have a man. How many of you are willing to admit, hey, I'm lonely. I made mistakes with this person and I'm lonely. We got a few women in here at night tonight willing to admit it. We have a few who are willing to tell the truth and admit they're lonely. There ain't nothing fly about being a single mom. There's nothing fly about being a widow. There's nothing fly about being a divorcee sitting in a house full of kids and cats. There's nothing fly about that. Those are crutches and coping mechanisms. You need a man. Now I want to ask another question right now. And this is going to be a hard one, but I want to ask the fellas. I'm going to ask a tough question right now to the fellas, to the men listening to me. And by the way, we're not talking about dating tonight. I'm talking about power dynamics because Danae is attempting to exercise power over Derrick because Derrick has exercised a frightening amount of excruciating power over her. But I want to ask the fellas a question tonight. Fellas, show of hands in the chat room. And for the men, I want you to put up the shield emoji. By a show of the shield emoji from the men. How many of you have done this to a woman? I didn't ask if she deserved it or not. How many fellas in here tonight, you had a female who she fooled with you for real, or at one point she used to, but you left her in tears one day? How many of you are willing to admit you've done that? You can't see me right now. Hand is up over here. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I've got no reason to lie to these young men. I've got mostly young men in my audience. Mostly the males in this audience are younger than I am. I'm not going to mislead you. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, well, y'all messed up in the game. I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. Not going to say I was always right either, by the way. I'm not going to say I was always correct. But I want to ask one more question of the fellas. While y'all are throwing up your shields, I'll be damned. It looks like the Roman legions up in here with all these shields. But I want to ask the fellas one more question. One more question. How many of you left a woman like this and you did her wrong? Let me just say the circumstances in which she was crying. Hey, you was doing her wrong, but she pushed you to it. Give me the hammer emoji. I want the women to see this. Give me the hammer emoji in the chat room. If you are a man and yeah, you left a woman crying like this and you were in the wrong, but she pushed you to this. She kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And then one day, damn it, I just let it go. Just let it go. Damn it, if it's going to be like that, let it go. I want the ladies to see this tonight. This program is staying up. This program will not be taken down. This program is going to stay up. But I want the women to take a look in that chat room tonight. That ain't no joke. That's not a joke that you see there. It's become very easy to disregard what the men have to say. It's become very easy to disregard what a man's got to say because the women have replaced the men with damn me coping mechanisms. And other women, while you claiming that you're not LGBT leaning, and yet this is what you tend to surround yourselves with here. The men are trying to tell you there's a problem and it's wrong. They're trying to tell you there's a problem and it's wrong. They're trying to get your attention. And they can't all be as articulate as I am. They don't all have an internet program to talk about it like I do. They don't all have the ability to do that. They don't have the ability to get you to stop and listen long enough and say, hey! Been taking your mess all this damn time. If you keep it up, a man cannot continue in his masculine being, letting himself be abused. Because eventually what happens is if a man allows a woman to beat him down, and he doesn't say anything, and he doesn't do anything, then this is what he ends up looking like. And I'm not talking about from the title of it on your screen. I'm talking about look at him. Look at him. Let me start the video going there. Take a look at him from the time it starts. That phony grin, and as soon as the phony grin goes away, look at him. Look at him. That's beaten down. He's got to sit up here in front of the world. You know why? Because she's a cute little chick. Let's just say it like it is. She a cute little chick, and she's the best he's ever been. So he's accepting this abuse because he's an underdog. He's a sad sack, and he never thought he would have something that cute next to him. Yeah, the cost is why. Yeah, that's the cost. It only cost him his manhood. Look at him. Does that look like an alpha male who is emboldened and confident in the company of his woman? Does he look like his woman has made him into a better man? Or does he look like a phony shell of what he used to be? Or maybe never got the chance to be? You tell me, does that look like a confident male? Let's check on him a year or so later. Take a look at him again. Does he look any better? This is what happens when a man allows a woman to beat him down emotionally. He just starts looking like this phony with a smile painted on, but every other... Take a look at how quickly... By the way, take a look at how quickly a smile fell off his face. Take a look at that. Every time he does try to smile, you take a look at how quickly the smile pops up and then the smile just falls off his face again. He can't even hold it properly. It's there 1 second and gone the next. There 1 second and gone the next. This is a fellow who's struggling. Did you see how quickly that changed? Damn it. Look how quickly that changed. You see that? 1 minute his smile is up. Next second it's just gone. That tells you that the smile is fake. All of it's fake. This is what all these years of pretending that he's okay with what she did has done to him. She's all right with it, but he isn't. That's why I'm trying to tell you right now, ladies, a lot of these fellas out here, and I'm no friend of Derrick Jackson. The world knows that about Jason Black. I've been an adversary of that liar since the day he first emerged. I'm no friend of Derrick Jackson, but we need to be honest tonight about what's happening. There are too many females out here who are gravitating and have accepted fortune cookie Babble, and you have not accepted the reality of what you need next to you. You're sitting up here looking crazy as hell with a degree in your hands or a job in your hands. Some of you have been listening to me and got certifications, IT certifications in your hands. And no man, do you realize how silly as hell you look with all that stuff on you? And no man, you can go jump around as much as you want to. You can go do all the working out you want to. You can put on every bathing suit known to man. I don't give a damn how great you may look in it. You are a waste of femininity if you do not have a man who is paying for, supporting, and actively rewarding your femininity. You failed as a woman. You're a failure. And this is what a failed female looks like when the lights go down and you're by yourself and you're in the dark and you don't have the internet to sit up here and stand for you and hold you up anymore and pretend like you're okay. You're screaming inside. Many of you with children. This isn't right. This is the reason that men are out here just like, hell, we got to look out for ourselves. Because you're suicidal. Take a look at what happened to Danae Jackson with all the hundreds or thousands of women sitting around who egged her on into this. They have helped her out of her marriage. None of them are helping them into nothing else. Let me go ahead back here and reinforce this fraud one more time. You go on her page here and she can sit up and talk all this garbage all she wants to about being a single mom and how great it is. She's got nothing but a page full of other women who are single moms or soon to be single moms. There's not a bunch of ex-single moms who are talking about, yeah, everything's going great for us. God brought me my man. They're all sitting here in her comment section. That's where they are. They're in her comment section pretending that they're okay. Ladies, do you understand that men don't want to be with somebody who's pretending she's okay? They want to be with someone who is okay. How are you going to hold it down for him emotionally and you are an emotionally, intellectually dishonest basket case? You're hurting inside and you would rather sit here and scream than to actually balance out. I know I'm hurting many feelings tonight because many of you were raised by this. Your grandmothers, your mothers, your aunties, your sisters, your school teachers. Let somebody be honest with you tonight. Could it be that that man didn't hurt you because he wanted to? Could it be that he hurt you because that was collateral damage? That he was trying to repair himself from what you were doing to him? Take a look at all those shields and hammers I got in my damn chat room. Could it be that you were collateral damage because he couldn't take it anymore? Could that be the issue? I'm no friend to Derrick Jackson, but I will say this. If a chick was in my bed, her and everything else she got in that bed would be out of it the next day. You ain't gonna do that. This little thing right here gonna happen one time. You will do this one time. You'll never do it a second. If Derrick stuck around all them years, she was lucky. Ladies, there are a bunch of you who've been taught that it's okay to do this. That it's all right to do this, and if you go to the internet crying and boo-hooing and bawling your eyes out, that everybody's going to rally around you. We ain't rallying around you. There's two sides to the story, and we've seen how you get down. You know what? I want to talk about the little quiet girls out there for a moment. Let me talk about the little quiet chicks, because you see, Danae has been a little quiet chick, and I've told y'all for over a decade now about the little quiet chicks, the little quiet throwed off ones. They've got their religiosity. You all need to pay attention to these timelines. Pay attention to them posting about their religions on their timelines. They're quiet, but they post about their religion. She is communicating something. She's trying to balance that out and rationalize it in her head. She wants to be both carnal and Christian. But it's a warning sign to any man. Ladies, I'm telling you, these fellas are willing to fool with you for real. But they don't feel like they can trust you. And a man will sleep with a woman he don't trust. Why do you think it's so easy for y'all to get pregnant on the sneak and for dudes to get killed? Men will sleep with a woman they don't trust. There's not a single man listening to me right now who has not, there's not a single man listening to me right now over the age of 35 who has not slept with at least one or two women that he did not trust. When the relationship was coming to an end, he did not trust you at all. He was still sleeping with you. He was still sleeping with you. He might have had a pistol by the bed, but he was still sleeping with you. He didn't let the fact that he didn't trust you prevent him from getting into bed with you. But just understand, as soon as sex was over, he's like, yeah, I gotta watch out for you. And what I'm saying is, do you see how much being an untrustworthy woman costs you? Do you see how much it costs you? Danae is broken. Danae is broken. And now, like I say, she posted this story on her Instagram. She's worried. She's now worried. She told herself, I ain't gonna be no single mom. I've been with this fella since we were in high school. I'm not gonna be a single mom. And now the fellas are letting her know, hey, recreational use. She's like, oh, hell no. No, you can't do. I did everything right. I did everything right. At least she tells herself she did. She won't let anybody tell her the truth about this too. She won't let anyone say the truth about this too. I would rather be alone. I'd rather be alone. At least I can have some peace and I don't have anybody messing with me. Does this look like a woman who is at peace to you? Does this look like peace? Do you know the only people who would be sick enough to sit up here and tell you that this is what peace looks like? You know the only people who'd be sick enough to tell you that? These would be the only people sick enough to tell you that. These would be the only folks sick enough to tell you that. That you being in pain is a good thing. These are the only people sick enough to tell you that. That you being in pain is okay. The anointing is in you, driving the devil crazy. Keep applying pressure. The pressure's on you. You'll be the first millionaire in your family. For somebody, she won't stand by it. Your miracle has already spotted you. Fortune cookie Babble. Fortune cookie Babble. Listen, Maybe God ruined your plan so your plan wouldn't ruin you. The reason that it hurt is because your fingers are in the door that God is trying to close. This lying sack of crap is sitting up here telling these people that your pain and your hurt and your agony, that's all part of God's plan. This is God's plan at work. I got a bunch of women who don't like what I'm saying here tonight. They'd rather hear somebody lying to them. Let me tell you right now, the women who are sitting at home alone tonight, you know damn well you are 3 times more miserable than you were with your dude who fooled with you for real. I'm not talking about the pookie that you picked when you were messing around trying to defy the man who fooled with you for real. I'm talking about if you ever had a dude that you know damn well he's 10 toes down and you decided that wasn't enough. Yeah, that's how you end up with Pookie and Ray Ray and Lil Slug, Catfish and Cornbread, because you figured that was going to fix that. Nothing fixes or takes the place of a tried and true man who is in your corner and got your back. You don't have anything in your life more important than that. I'm trying to find me. No, you need to find a man who is masculine, leadership quality, got it together. That's where you find yourself. You need that anchoring. A woman needs a man who, what's the one thing women say about a man? I need a man who's going to be my rock. I need a man who's going to be my mountain. I need a man who's, what you're saying is you need a man who's going to be something that doesn't move. You need a man who's not going to move. And what you're seeing on your screen right now with Danae Jackson, this is what it feels like facing the world by yourself. She will never be the same. A bunch of folks are going to lie to her. A bunch of people who ain't going through what she's going through. She needs a man who fools with her for real and is going to stand by her and hold it down. That's what she needs. She doesn't have it anymore. And this is what not having a man does to you. This is what it does. It destroys you. It destroys you. And all the fortune cookie babble from all of the wannabe televangelists on the planet isn't gonna help. Folks, I'm just being real with you. Take a look. She needs her man. You can call him a dog. You can call him whatever. Let me tell y'all something else. Ain't none of us looking to come up and follow up behind no damn Derrick Jackson. You can sit up here and encourage her to divorce that man, to leave him or whatever, whether he's filed or she has. You can sit up here and encourage her to end her marriage. The bottom line is, ain't none of the niggas talking about she needs to divorce her husband gonna swoop in and take his place. None of them. Lala Anthony listened to a bunch of lying ass dogs on the internet assure her that she had all the options in the world, assure her that everything was going to be just fine, assure her that she was going to be okay, assure her that nothing was going to change for her, that she was going to be a hot ticket forever. Where are those lying bastards today? A year after they encouraged her to divorce her husband, where are they today? And every time you turn around, she's going to basketball games, and what do you know? Carmelo is there. She misses her man. Because there hasn't been anything like that masculine energy, and the fortune cookie babblers and liars could not replace it. And all they've left is a string of utterly broken females. This is miserable. I'm going to tell you right now, this is sad, not because I believe she's totally being honest, but I believe she's partially being honest. This is sad. This is sad. This is heartbreaking to see that from the sincerity aspect of it. It's heartbreaking to see that because you know there's got to be a part in her that this is real. She really feels this. It's not right. It's not okay. She feels embarrassed. She feels humiliated. She feels devastated. She bet all her chips on him. And this is the way it came out. So there's a part of her that I will tell you, I think there's a part of this that's genuine, not all of it, but there's a part that is. Folk out here need to understand that in the modern era. Now she's looking forward to a future in the discount bin because she would have to convince Derrick that she's worth keeping under all these circumstances. You have to convince Derrick to do that. And Derrick is out here in these streets trying to make up for the whole phase that he felt he didn't have in high school and college. He's trying to make up for all that now. And yes, he's willing to sacrifice the wife, the kids, and everything else to get it. And as sad as that is, she chose it. And if Derrick leaves, you know damn well who in the hell is waiting behind him. Who the hell's waiting behind him? You better stop looking for a productive simp and start looking for an honest producer. Somebody who's going to let you know, hey, here's the deal. Give you something you can rely on. Somebody who is disciplined. It's been sad as hell for me to see so many young women out here who listen to the older generation of females who have aged out of the game and don't have anywhere to go and anything to do. You recognize Ebony was on the phone. She sure could tell you everything about the single moms. And Jason, you said they'd be boring if they got a job. Oh, so you're not ignorant of stuff you've heard. You just want to put a twist on it. They're listening to old chicks in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, sitting up here misleading them. And none of them will be here with them when she wants something at night. Let me tell y'all something. Danae, you can say whatever in the hell you want to, baby. This picture right here tells us everything. You don't miss your religion. You miss your man. Baby, you ain't fooling nobody. You miss your man. You miss your man. You don't miss your religion. You don't miss your faith. You miss your man. And maybe, just maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for the beginning, although I suspect Derrick has always had an untrustworthy angle to him always. But maybe there was somebody else somewhere along the line. But no man is going to fully commit to you when you show him things like this. When you make it clear to him that you ain't willing to die for him, but you want the man to die for you. That's the world we're in today. Women want the man to love them more than they love him. She wants him to be willing to die for her, but she doesn't have to be willing to so much as stub a toe for him. Ladies, it doesn't work. Take a look at Danae. This is the cost of it. Maybe if she had convinced her husband that she cared for him more than she cared for her religiosity, maybe she'd still have a husband. Maybe she'd still have that. Maybe she'd still have a man there. And maybe her psyche would be a bit more balanced out. But this is sad. It's sad because Danae is the average black female in particular. Females in general, black females in specific, Danae is. She is the rule, not the exception. Only for most black females, their religion is either going to be the church or their job or their education or their vanity. But there's some religion in there. And ladies, I'm just saying, we need to stop the lying to you. It's destroying you. It's made you into these weird little people with a cell phone in one hand and posting a whole bunch of stuff to try to make yourself look like you fly on a timeline in the other. I got a better idea. How about you become an adult? How about you say the 3 most important words to a man? Not I love you, but I need you. How about get balanced? How about convince a man that you need him more than he needs you? How about that? How about do that so that he feels like, hey, I got to do right because she needs me? How about that one? Nothing takes the place of a man A woman cannot establish her feminine being without it. Every time women don't have their man around, they start becoming big-ass tomboys. They wear sweatpants and T-shirts. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I saying that? What is Danae wearing here? Yikes. What is she wearing there? What are those spandex pants or whatever? Are those sweatpants or look like pajama pants? She's got a T-shirt and pajama pants on, and we can go down the list here. Take a look at the way she's dressed. I'm not dissing anything. What I'm saying is I pointed this out before. Because you see, when a woman is concerned about this, that doesn't happen. So what she got on, like, I don't know, those are watercolor, look like workout pants? Let me get a show of hands in the chat room here tonight, because they're going to think I'm beating up on her. How many of you ladies have ever told your man that you didn't want to dress the way he told you to? Show of hands in the chat room. Ladies, put your hands up. How many of you told a man, how many of you took offense when your man tried to tell you that the way he wanted you to dress? Show of hands in the chat room. Don't lie. If every female's hand don't go up, I'm going to call you all liars. How many of you are going to be honest and admit when your man told you what he wanted you to wear, you took offense. You took offense. Who is he to tell me I can buy my own clothes? I can wear whatever I want to. You don't know what it means to belong to a man. Guess what? When you communicate to a man that you do not belong to him, then he's probably going to go looking for someone who wants to belong to a man. When you start those acts like that, then you just end up laying up in bed like this. This is narcissism. She's literally in bed by herself. There certainly isn't another human being in the bed. So what this means is that she's singing to herself. This is narcissism. And the only time that the narcissistic fantasy and fallacy broke, this is what happened when she finally broke down. How many of the rest of you have joined her? How many of the rest of you are willing to be honest and take issue with the fortune cookie babblers who helped get you into this? How many of you are ready to put down your social media and pick up your man? Because right now there's a bunch of you say you are alone, but if I asked the last 2 men that you were with, I wonder what they would tell you. Would they tell us that you chose them, or would they tell us that you ultimately chose yourself? And in the process, you've now become your grandmama and your auntie and your mom, and all the other failed females that you know. You've now become them. I'm going to wrap up the program here tonight, but leaving you with a word. I take no pleasure in this. I didn't do this tonight because I wanted to roast Danae. I did this tonight, and she's wearing shorts. Okay, fine. She's sitting there with her Bible, but she's showing, I miss my man. And I just wonder, did she express it like this when he was there? Has she ever made him feel like this was real and it wasn't going to get up and disappear the next day, that this is what it was and she wasn't trying to game him? I wonder if she ever did. I'll say something else to you all here tonight. Derrick Jackson's a degenerate, but I know a little bastard who misses his mama. I know a bastard whose missus is mom. I wonder if he would forgive her if she actually made him feel like that. I just wonder. I just wonder. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all of your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button, click that yellow notification bell, join us each and every time we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, you want to go ahead and check that out. The link is in the description. We do it every Saturday, 12 noon, so join us for that. For the insight and analysis one-on-one that you'll receive nowhere else. I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. Thank you very much for checking in. We appreciate that as well. Thank you to everybody here who's listening live and recorded. And this concludes this broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business is going to crush you.